Hella bad. All right, we're live. Yeah, it's Skittles McSavvy Pants Day Quan. Chatterbox
Yeah.
number 65. Thanks for the memo, Rees. Because I thought we should definitely discuss the memo.
Yeah, why not? Nobody else is
that
talking
thing
about it.
is pretty fucking major, dude.
Yeah. It's pretty goddamn earth-shattering.
Well, and it's interesting
how
how so many people are really just not taking it at all seriously.
Right. Yeah, kind of on both sides. I mean, mostly the left, I would say, but there's even people on the right are like, we kind of figure this is what's going on. Like, okay,
yeah,
but now you have fucking proof.
Now we need to follow the rest of the details because, like, so in and of itself, it's not enough to put anyone in jail, but it's definitely enough to warrant like some serious investigation.
Yeah. I guess proof is a little extreme, but yeah, that's
well, it's undeniable proof that the whole thing is bullshit, but it's not enough evidence to actually put somebody in jail.
Right.
Yeah, they need to get all the rest of the documents released. And right now they've got a problem with the judge that signed off on the warrants in the first place, who probably shouldn't have. Is trying to block them from getting any more documents, essentially.
Why? Because it makes him look bad for signing off on it in the first place.
Yeah, probably. And he's I think an Obama appointee. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. There's like 6 people that have already quit or been fired from the FBI in regards to the memo. One of the things that's interesting is, it isn't specifically about Trump, but it's clearly a case where they were investigating somebody who ultimately they really never had any real reason to be investigating. And kept renewing the warrant and renewed the warrant. And the only reason it got renewed again when they actually did start spying on Trump as well was because they had this fake dossier that had been, gathered from sources such as Yahoo News.
Yeah, and they're the ones that fed it to fucking Yahoo. The dude fed it to Yahoo News, and then they used that as proof. That's fucking amazing, dude.
Well, and the FBI was aware that this was all totally not factual. Like they
signed off on it knowing that.
In fact, quite the opposite. They proved that none of it was true to themselves and withheld that information. And that's the part that really, to me, right there, the fact that people were involved in willfully withholding evidence when asking for the warrant, because when they get that warrant renewed, they're required to provide any evidence of guilt and any evidence of innocence.
Yeah.
And that would have been evidence,
Yeah, it seems like fucking high crimes, dude. What are they saying?
Yeah, no, there's somebody who's actually, one of the senators is pursuing treason charges against people. I don't know that that's going to go anywhere. That might just be grandstanding horse shit.
Yeah, or sedition. I've heard sedition thrown around.
Sedition is an accurate term because this is way more than what Nixon did in Watergate. This is legitimately using an arm of the U.S. government, law enforcement, to spy on political opponents. This is Banana Republic bullshit.
Yeah, it's well beyond just trying to get fucking, yeah, it's actually using them to, it's fucking insane, dude. That's why I like saying it's bigger than Watergate. That's absolutely accurate in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a lot of people who are, Nunes didn't read any of the documents. He doesn't know. No, he didn't. He's part of a group of people that was investigating this. He just happens to be the lead, so his name is on there. Trey Gowdy is the one who went and read all the actual documents himself, and they're basing this memo off of what Trey Gowdy read.
Right.
So this is all based on 100% verifiable facts. Like, the paper trail exists. None of this is made up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of all the people who's going to, of all the people that I could think of who would be biased and want to, sell something that's not there, Trey Gowdy is not one of those people, man.
No, he actually seems to have some integrity.
He looks like he's going to retire.
No shit.
Yeah, I think this might have been the thing that straw that broke the camel's back, where he's like, I just can't fucking do this anymore. You people are just so fucked up.
Wow.
That's
really unfortunate, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not saying it, but it kind of, this whole thing breaks loose, and his job is done there. And so I kind of wonder, makes you wonder if that's, the straw that broke the camel's back for him, that he just couldn't do it anymore. Because I would have liked to see him make a run at the presidency.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded, dude. Yeah,
that was a guy I would have 100%. Even if he changed to a Democrat, I'd still vote for him. Like, he's so honest.
Yeah. No, he'd have a great shot at it, man. Even if he ran as a fucking independent, forget Republican or Democrat, man. I think
he could join the Green Party, and I'd be like, "You're in, buddy."
Whatever you want to do, the old Reform Party, whatever, man. I'll vote for you.
He could show up okay, maybe not show up in a KKK outfit, but pretty damn close, and I'd still vote for the dude.
Yeah, I can't really think of any other ones that I actually think has integrity,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah. But it really is pretty fucking amazing watching the leftists try to pretend to like, I'm big deal. Apparently Maddow's, even her fans were like, what the fuck are you talking about? How are you fucking claiming this is nothing?
Yeah, no, if you're even a little bit not ideologically driven, like if you're not 100% out your fucking mind on one side or the other, you look at this and you're like, this is serious business. Like, you got the Republicans like going off on a tear about like this is the end of the fucking Democrats. It's over for them, blah blah blah. And I think, that might be a little extreme, but like there's some people that are probably going to go to jail for this.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Probably going to be some cases of FBI major players from the FBI who quit being arrested and thrown in jail. It's going to happen.
Yeah. I'd really like to see someone higher up, but it's a little too much to expect that something like Hillary or fucking Obama would actually have any kind of fucking legal action against them. But at least somebody higher up.
It's too well removed from them. They're too many steps away. So unless the people want to actually openly and honestly admit like that they were doing this under the instruction of Obama or Hillary Clinton, or doing it, in collusion with them, there's really no way to tie them to it.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they're smart enough to keep their hands relatively clean.
If there's anything we could be hopeful of with Clinton, it would be obstruction of justice charges. They legitimately, what do you call it? Destroyed evidence, like hundreds of computers. The FBI was complicit with that. Some of those people should be up on obstruction charges. It's pretty ridiculous that hasn't happened yet. But we realize, I think at this point we realize we don't really live in a full-on, republic, or what do you call it, a democratic republic.
Right.
We're not equal. They have special rules for the fucking elite class, and there's really not much we can do short of what is it? There's actually a dude who called for fucking open revolution against Trump, by the way, because he released the memo. I forget what his name was. Some fucking loser, not like super famous or anything. He was on a morning show, and he was literally like, "No, you people need to get out of the streets and start killing." It was just, you need to take your country back. It's over. Because they're already assuming he's going to fire Rosenstein, which he has every right to, because Rosenstein should have known. Either he knew and decided to be complicit with it, or he should have known and didn't do his job to be aware of this pretty major issue.
Yeah. I find it hard to believe you get to that level and you're that inept that you wouldn't know that that's going on.
Well, I'm hoping it's going to be a package deal. I want to see Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein gone, and I want to see Jeff Sessions out. Neither one of them are really doing their job.
Yeah, I can't stand Sessions. He's one of the few in Trump's little fucking cabinet or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
I just do not want him to be there, dude.
Yeah, he needs to be gone. If Trump should have picked somebody like Trey Gowdy for his Attorney General.
Yeah.
But now we know that Trey Gowdy is, gonna retire. So But I mean, somebody like that could have definitely handled this whole situation 1,000,000 times better, and definitely would not have had Rosenstein as his deputy attorney general.
Right.
Although Trey Gowdy says they shouldn't fire Rosenstein, but I don't agree. I think he's too generous. Rosenstein actually threatened to subpoena records belonging to members of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the HPSCI, which is the probe into the FISA abuses of the FBI, the chairman of which is Nunez or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty fucking telling right there. He literally was threatening to start trying to get their phone records and all sorts of shit to try to dig up some dirt. I mean, it's fucking insane. He has no grounds to request any of them, and they're not really available for him just because he wants them. So I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe he's just a big fan of J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, I guess he thought he was gonna pull some Hoover bullshit.
Yeah. For anyone that's not familiar, J. Edgar Hoover would basically have fucking dirt on I don't know, any president, but anybody in Washington that had any pull or any power, and then essentially would send something to him saying, "Hey, we found out this information, just to let you know." But it was basically a fucking implied threat of, "Hey, we have dirt on you. Don't fuck with us."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so it was definitely something like where they were trying to pull the Hoover thing. That is a very apt explanation. I would not doubt that.
And he liked to dress up as a chick.
Edgar ever dressed up as a woman?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah. There are people that would talk about it, like fucking wives of politicians would like see him at a fucking party dressed up as a chick. Like, he wouldn't identify himself. He would try to pretend that he was an actual chick.
You're the president of the United fucking States. You think people didn't recognize that shit?
Yeah, like you look like
CIA, not the CIA, the Secret Service agents probably gave that shit away,
Like, you look like a little fucking bulldog. Like, there's not much you can do to make yourself look like a chick.
I was so really bad for the people that are like super fucking ugly and extremely either masculine or extremely feminine and can't look at all like the opposite sex, but they feel like they have to be or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
Oh man, that shit is crazy.
Poor peoples.
No, another Facebook child porn ring was busted.
Jesus.
I thought the interesting thing in this article. Okay, so let me share you this so you can see the title, because the title is pretty ridiculous. Facebook child porn ring busted again. How does Mark Zuckerberg keep getting away with it? Like it's somehow his fault. Like let's be honest, man. How many fucking billions of people are on Facebook? There's no fucking way he could be responsible for what's going. Like, he can't police everyone like that. That's just not a reasonable expectation.
Unless there's showing that like it kept getting reported and they didn't do anything like that. That's a little damning, but yeah, the fuckers know how to stay hidden, dude. Like, it's
okay. Here's the thing. It says, in fact, most of the cases that the Goldwater was reported on, the groups and accounts of the vicious pedophiles distributing child pornography are never shut down by the website until after law enforcement has made an arrest. This is because you don't want them to know that the police are coming.
Right.
You allow them to continue on after you've taken the report from somebody, and you pass that report on to the police, and then the police will let you know what to do.
Yeah. Sickening as
so they're going to let it go for a while because the cops are trying to figure out exactly they want to get everybody's address and get them all at once.
Right.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, as sickening as it is to have to wait to fucking bust these degenerate motherfuckers. Yeah, that's got to be the toughest part of the job, is knowing that like there's that kind of abuse still going on, but you can't bust them yet. Like, kids are actually suffering and shit. Yeah.
Oh, and look, they're definitely not fucking white Christian people. The Paramaswara. Sounds like Indian, like Indian.
That is a lot of syllables.
Sundaram and Sundram Alegan. And one female, Yvonne Mesa Asuncion. This might be either like South American or Indian. Oh, Guam police. Okay, so yeah, Guam, South America.
No, Guam's in the middle of the fucking Pacific, dude.
Oh, is it? I'm not really good with geography.
Yeah, Guam's a tiny island in the middle of the Pacific, dude.
Oh man, a 36-second video of a naked child who was being molested, and an addition video of a child that appeared to be 1 year old. 1 year old, come on!
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Jesus. Which Matt's been sharing on Facebook. So they've been sharing it on Facebook and like passing it around, probably in sort of like a trade thing, or like get somebody interested and then sell them more kind of thing. Is usually what they do.
And apparently, to get in, like you have to share some sick shit like that. Like you have to fucking contribute. You know.
Well, that's where the idea of what is that Destiny was talking about? I forget what he called it.
Ethical child porn.
Well, what was that again? You said it so quietly.
Ethical child porn.
Ethical child porn. Okay, yeah, that's where that idea comes from. I think. Let me just turn my volume up because I'm old and deaf. But yeah, that's where that idea comes from. Is because they'll use child porn that they've taken off of other people to get access to groups and more personal information of groups that share stuff on like deep web and things like that.
Right.
And it's in my mind that's perfectly ethical. It's pretty disgusting. I wouldn't want to be the one that does it, but I don't know, man. Maybe I would, because you'd be taking down pedophiles. I mean, how much more satisfying could your job be?
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that would be frustrating is having to wait, knowing that fucked up shit is happening to kids, dude, that are getting abused like that.
Oh, man,
especially that young, 1 fucking year old. Like,
yeah, 1 year old is pretty fucking disgusting. Dude. That is really out there bullshit.
Yeah, well, I fucking heard the story. This is much older, but still, this mom was like fucking dating this guy online, and apparently the guy was a fucking pedo of some kind. And basically said something along the lines of, I want to fuck somebody that's a younger version of you. And she basically fucking offered up her daughter to him. Like, met with him, fucking got her fucking daughter drunk and let her daughter fucking get raped by the guy. I mean, she was like 16. So, I mean, that's obviously compared to a 1 year old, that's a big fucking difference. But I was like, how can you do that, dude?
As a mother, no less. That is insane.
Yeah. I was like, that's despicable, man. Fucking.
Some people are just so desperate to be in relationships. I don't know, man. It's so weird. Like, I don't understand like, I understand wanting to be in a relationship. I really do. Like, I'm sure it's great. And it is great most of the time. Maybe my experiences aren't the best ones, but I'm sure it's great.
Yeah.
We do it right.
I'm with you.
But God, I just can't.
I don't understand being that desperate to be in a relationship. I guess that's what throws me off.
Wanting it so much that you would let your own child be abused by somebody is
fucking scarred for life.
The weirdest thing I can imagine. I can't. In all honesty, I really can't.
Yeah.
It just boggles my mind.
Yeah, I think there was one. I think this actually happened somewhere around where I live here, where fucking this chick was letting her new boyfriend like beat the shit out of like her fucking kid was like 2 or 3 years old, was letting him beat the shit out of him, dude, and ended up killing him. Ended up killing the kid from fucking, from that.
Jesus.
Like, how the fuck do you? God damn, dude. Yeah.
The woman has to be a sociopath.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. That's sociopathy right there. She just has to have no fucking.
I don't get how you could carry a child around in your body for 9 months, fucking have him come out and still have no connection to it like that, like caring so little for it, and you're having
I
your
don't
needs.
care whose kid it is. If I see somebody beating a 2-year-old up beating a 2-year-old up, it's going down.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna fucking just watch. I don't care if it's somebody else's parent just beating the hell out of a kid. I'm gonna fucking restrain the dude and call the cops.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just saying, like, it's even that more bewildering to me that it's your child. Like, you fucking, like, your needs are so fucking important, and everybody else's needs don't fucking matter so much that you would allow something like that to happen and be okay with it. Yeah, it's just. Wow. I'm glad I'm I can be pretty selfish, but goddamn, dude, I'm glad I'm not that fucked up.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a certain benefit to having a little bit of selfishness as a parent, though, because it's way too easy to give kids like anything they want. You know, because it feels good. Yeah, you know, it's your kid. You want them to have what they want. You want them to be happy. Then you're happy. But a little bit of selfishness is a good thing because sometimes it'll help you to like resist that urge when, you know, maybe they don't really need that candy bar that time or, you know, that kind of shit.
Yeah, although even the overly indulgent thing is not necessarily making a child happy. It's more of a convenience thing. Like, okay, I just said yes. I just said yes because it was easier. It shuts them up. They're not really giving
I've seen
shit
that in grocery stores. I've seen that all the time.
Yeah.
When the kid starts to ramp up for a temper tantrum, and then the mom, or usually it's a mom, it's like, okay, fine, I'll just get you the candy bar. Just shut up, you know? And I'm just sitting there like, lady, I don't care if your kid screams through the whole store. Go for it.
Right.
Don't bother me then.
I've been there. The reason he's doing it is because they know it works. Like they know that fucking will get them what they want.
My baby sister used to do that because, like, she's 12 years younger than me, right? So there was a while when I was taking her around, like, I got her to, like, daycare in high school and shit, all that stuff. And I got her to take her when I'd go out and pick up groceries or something when I was in high school still. And she'd do the, like, well, I'm just going to lay here and I'm not going to leave until you get me a candy bar. And I'm like, all right, peace out.
Yeah.
See that and they'd freak out. But I tell you what, man, two minutes later, she's coming out that door.
Right.
You know, and I never went that far. I can almost see her. I never went out of sight. I just was, you know,
just walk away.
Clear that I wasn't going to give into that.
Yeah.
Well, I just pick her up and carry her out if there wasn't room.
No, yeah, it used to literally, or not literally, I don't know why I threw that in there, but it used to drive me nuts. My ex would just give in to the fucking kids like that. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, yeah, it was weird how they didn't try that shit with me, but they would do that
because they knew she'd fold.
Yeah, and I explained that to her. I'm like, you have to fucking, for one thing, if you say you're gonna do, like, if you say, hey, if you do that, I'm gonna do this. If they do that, you better do this.
Yep, you got to do this at that point.
Yeah, you don't fucking keep giving them chances, you know, because they would, you know, if they wanted to spend the night at somebody's house or whatever the fuck they wanted, they knew they could fucking just argue with her and fucking keep bugging her, and she would give in, you know. So I had to finally stop it. I'm like, dude, I fucking sat those kids down, and I'm like, look, man, you know, something like that happens again. You know, you can raise one objection, and if the answer's still no, that's it. And if I hear you doing it, you are going to get spanked. You know, and that fucking happened, and I did that. And
you spank them, and they realize, oh shit, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it was frustrating though because it really all that it did was make it where they acted one way when I was around and another way when I wasn't.
Yeah, well, because it wasn't consistent.
Yeah, because she wouldn't do it if I wasn't around, you know. So,
well, I mean, you know, that's a trip. That's got to be so fucking maddening.
Yeah, no, it was really frustrating.
Where I work, actually, only we call it staff splitting. Where clients will go ask one staff member and be told no, and then they'll go ask another staff member in the hopes that they'll say yes.
Oh my god!
And the problem is, depending on the staff member, sometimes that shit works.
Yeah.
So they just keep doing it, and it's like we have a set of rules. They're very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're very clear rules, and there's absolutely no reason to break those rules 99% of the time. And if you're thinking of breaking them, you should go discuss it with the other person on duty, or the manager or something. You shouldn't just violate the rules. Like that's not how you're supposed to do it where I work. There's people that'll still do it every fucking time. And why? Because it's fucking easier than saying no.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a lot of respects, what we do is we reparent people.
Mm-hmm.
As weird as that may sound, like a 20 or 30-year-old dude reparenting like a 60-year-old dude. It's very much the way it works.
Yeah. No, you actually have to establish those boundaries and those what do you call it? That structure.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine it's a lot like people in recovery that are not used to having any fucking structure or following any fucking rules.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, because part of this stuff we work with, a lot of the people have recovery issues as well. Self-medicating and whatnot, usually with meth. But yeah, I'm always very much like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen, man. Like, I'm sorry. I wish I could say yes, but you know the rules. I'm not going to break them.
Yeah.
I'm always super polite. I'm always super polite because there's no reason to get upset. Like, I know they're trying to run a game, but I'm just like, no, man, I'm sorry, but you can't do that.
Right. It's not going to happen, buddy.
Yeah, the only things I ever give wiggle room are stuff where it's like, are we treating them literally like a child unnecessarily? Kind of shit.
Right. Like, is it getting into like just being mean at that point, or is it actually?
Yeah. Like, oh, if you're hungry in the middle of the night, go have a piece of fruit. I don't care. I'm not. Don't wake me up because I'm not getting you out a bag of chips or a fucking pizza or some fucking, peanut butter and jelly shit. Like that's not happening. Mainly because we only have so much food, and if we start letting people eat whatever we wouldn't have enough food to last the month.
Yeah.
And they'd all weigh like 400 pounds because these dudes will fucking just, out of boredom, they'll just fucking eat all day long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, I do that myself, so I understand that.
Yeah. But it's different when there is the food to do that. I don't care. But when there's a case of literally like, if they just start having cereal 40 times a day, we're just not gonna have breakfast for the rest of the month. I can't do it.
Yeah. When it's actually fucking up the supply chain.
Yeah.
You're fucking running out, and it's not like fucking easily being able to borrow money from somebody or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or spend the rest of your money on fucking ramen so you have enough to eat. At least you feel full, even if you're not getting any real nutrition.
Right.
And let me tell you, man, I did that for like, God, 2 or 3 months. I lived off of ramen and nothing else. Like literally breakfast, lunch, and dinner because it was all I could afford.
Right.
And you could feel your body breaking down. Like the first week was all right.
Right, because you have some kind of reserves, basically, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. The nutrition doesn't like just go away all at once. There's still some in your blood and in your bones and shit. And about after a week, you start to feel fucking legit. You just start to feel everything not working right. And then I was really lucky because I didn't full on end up with like something like weird. Like I probably could have gotten like scurvy or something if I kept up long enough. But I worked with a lot of first generation Asian people from like other countries at the time. And so like they apparently had observed that I was just eating noodles all the time. And every once in a while, somebody would just come over and just be like, here, and then puts vegetables in my soup.
Wow.
They just come over and put like a fucking cup of vegetables or something in my soup. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And they're like, oh, no, don't worry about it. And just walk off.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was really nice, man. That was astonishing. I mean, you would never get that in a place full of white people. Let's be fair.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. In this culture, man. Like, you don't want to help people out, It
was one of the greatest things because, man, I really learned, a lot more about teamwork in that job because I was, so grateful to them for helping out and things like that. And I was always willing to help out, and whenever kind of job comes up or something, or you need more hours, or so it was definitely. I didn't take it, I gave back, and it was much more about let's do this as a group. The culture is so different because it really is like everything is about the group and not about the individual.
Right.
And so it was definitely interesting to learn how to live in that kind of like. Well, I mean, not live in that, but work in that kind of culture.
Right.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah. That's good shit, man.
It's the way to go.
Indeed.
But, where was I going? God damn, I'm so fucking tired. I stayed up so late last night and I didn't intend to. Yeah, Pelosi. Pelosi had some fucking psycho shit to say after the memo got released.
Oh, yeah.
She went to crazy town and back. Now, let's keep in mind the president has signature authority to release any confidential information at any time to anyone.
Right.
It is completely up to the president. He has every right to do this. There's no restrictions. I mean, clearly there's situations where maybe he shouldn't because it might put people in danger, but he still can if he chooses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's within his authority or whatever.
Yeah, so releasing the FISA memo was entirely up to Trump. And not remotely outside of his authority. Here we go.
Yeah, I love how they try to claim otherwise, like fucking just denying the fucking facts of
I mean, it's like
what's
District
within
9.
his power.
District 9 Supreme Court, not Supreme Court. It's what is that? Superior Court?
Not appeal. Superior. Is it Superior Court? Yeah. No, not Superior Court.
Oh, damn it. But we know what we're talking about. It's not district. Is it district? District 9, but I forget. There's another term for it. It's not Supreme.
Fuck. Yeah, I can't think of it.
Federal court? I don't know.
Whatever.
Let me read you Pelosi's comment on this. Her statement. President Trump has surrendered his constitutional responsibility as commander-in-chief by releasing highly classified and distorted intelligence. By not protecting intelligence sources and methods, he just sent his friend Putin a bouquet. As the Department of Justice warned, the public release of the memo would be an unprecedented action, not true, and extraordinarily reckless. If you've read the memo, there's nothing in there that's top secret of any kind. The FBI also expressed grave concerns about material omissions of fact that fundamentally impact the memo's accuracy. None of that is true.
Fucking amazing.
Nunez's partisan spin memo distorts highly classified intelligence in a cynical attempt to discredit our national intelligence and law enforcement agencies and the special counsel investigation. Releasing the memo is a desperate attempt to distract the American people from the truth about the Trump-Russia scandal. Not at all true. 1 year ago, the intelligence community concluded that the Russians interfered in our elections and plan to do so again. Not true, not true. Yet the president refuses to hold Putin accountable. Fucking, how is he supposed to hold Putin accountable? That's the one thing I've always fucking wondered. Like, Putin is Russian. We don't have any authority over Putin. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, is Trump supposed to go spank him? Like, I'm not sure. Like, is he supposed to ground him? Putin, you go to your room. Like, I don't fucking know where that's going.
Yeah, is he supposed to nuke him? Yeah, let's preemptively nuke him. That'll hold him accountable.
Yeah, that'll teach him. Making us all ask, what do the Russians have on Trump politically, financially, and personally? Fucking nothing.
It would have been shown by now. As much as you're digging and trying to fucking make some connection that still has yet to be made. Nothing. Yeah.
And your favorite congressman is all up on the anti-Trump train again.
Yeah.
Over this memo thing. He's super fucking showing his rhino fucking horn.
I really wish they would fucking do some kind of competency hearing on this guy, dude. Because he's obviously lost his mind, dude.
Well, is there no way to recall him?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he had a brain tumor, man. Like, how can you not, like, at least look into making sure that he's got his mental faculties? Because he's not acting like someone that does, in my opinion.
Well, but I mean, even then, he's clearly not representing the same values and concerns that he was elected to represent. Like, the people should be able to recall him at this point.
Yeah.
Should they so choose and elect someone else in his place? I mean, there should be some way to do that for your senators and your congressmen, not for
I assume there would be a petition. I assume you could do a petition, a recall petition. I think everybody here is just like, dude, he's got to die soon. Like, you know, by the time
he doesn't fucking make it to the end of his term.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Like, I think that's part of it. Like, there's no way he's going to serve out his term. He can't possibly have much longer to go. You know. So yeah, let's not even bother. Let's just let him fucking die of natural causes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, in the meantime.
Yeah, and then she goes on to ask why Speaker Ryan isn't removing Chairman Nunes, and saying it jeopardizes our intelligence and national security. It's interesting. Like, the globalists always talk about national security. Have you noticed that?
Right.
Whenever they're exposed as like legitimately breaking the law or completely violating our rights, it's always in the name of national security.
Yeah. No, that's one of the best points I've heard out of this whole thing about the FISA memos is people saying like how they claimed that it was a threat to national security. Then it gets released and they're like, it's no big deal. Like, there's nothing here.
Yeah, none of that had anything to do with national securody whatsoever.
Yeah, where was that threat that you were all worried about? And now it's something to fucking laugh off because you're claiming it's no big deal. Yeah.
I mean, they're investigating a guy that they've been investigating for years and have yet to prove anything or had to find any evidence at all to suggest that he has any sort of that he's any sort of Russian agent.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about the guy they're actually investigating, because the guy was part of Trump's campaign, and that's how they were sort of going around trying to get Trump.
They were
wiretapped directly. They were wiretapping Trump's campaign offices because he was there. And that was their justification, which is why it all is so fucking wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, dude, how long was this thing in effect and you didn't find anything and it was still continually being renewed?
Yeah, I believe it's every 3 or 6 months it has to be renewed.
Yeah. Like, okay, it's still nothing, but seriously, there's the Yahoo thing. Remember the Yahoo thing? Let's keep this going.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, they represented the FISA or the dossier is entirely accurate. They did not divulge where it came from. They did not divulge that in their own fact-checking process they were able to verify none of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fact that Yahoo, dude, it still blows my mind that they leaked this bullshit to Yahoo News. Yahoo News prints it, and then they use that as the evidence, dude. That's fucking, oh my god,
yeah,
it's so ridiculous, man. Yeah, and I don't know how did Yahoo News become such a
reliable source?
Yeah, that's enough
because
to fucking
they wanted it to be.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's the problem with the whole FISA court. That's the problem with the whole FISA thing is it needs to just be thrown out.
Yeah,
the whole thing is ridiculous. Secret courts with secret interpretations of the Constitution and laws.
That's ridiculous. I mean, that's
probably why Trey Gowdy is out. Is he's like, this whole thing is completely bananas.
Yeah. Although it would be nice if he would just stay in and keep fighting it, but I understand why he would fucking be so fucking fed up that he's just like, it's too much. It's too fucking corrupt. You know, I understand that if he had that attitude.
I wish he would keep running, and I wish he would keep going until he got president, and he could really do a lot more damage to it.
Yeah.
I think he's similar to Trump in the fact that he genuinely is a patriot that wants to make the country better.
Right. Yeah, he could head up the FBI. He could be the attorney general. Like, I think he would be fine in either of those posts, man.
Yeah. Oh, man, if he was in charge of the FBI, I think I don't think he would end the Trump investigation, but I think he would put a timer on it.
Right.
He'd put a clock on it. He'd say, all right, look, you guys want an investigation. We're going to do a full and thorough investigation. But in the space of 6 months, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got nothing credible, that's it.
Then we're done, and we're going to announce that we're done, and we're going to let everybody know that Trump is indeed not a Russian spy.
Right. There's no evidence of it. Yeah.
The whole thing is so ridiculous. I mean, the dude's a fucking billionaire. Like, what is Russia going to offer him? He's the president.
Right.
Yeah. Assuming that they offered him the presidency, which they have no ability to deliver.
Right.
Like, I don't. The whole thing is so fucking.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I was kind of thinking about. It kind of makes Trump's winning the presidency bordering on miraculous when you think of everything that was so stacked against him, dude. Like a vast majority of the media, this fucking, you have the FBI, you have all these fucking people.
Well, I think you're seeing the true power of things like Twitter and YouTube and just the internet in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because so many people were so stirred up and were able to pass on factual information despite the incredible propaganda efforts of all the left-wing media and some of the right-wing media. Were able to pass all the truth on despite that. So there was no way for the propaganda to outshout it.
Yeah. No, that's why they bitch so much about Trump being able to fucking tweet, is the fact that he's got a direct fucking line, to fucking say what he wants to say and get it out there, which is not always the greatest thing.
It's always the greatest thing. It depends, from a political perspective, no, but from an entertainment perspective, it's beautiful every time, in my opinion.
That is true, dude.
I am an avid follower of his tweets. He is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but yeah, some of it's great. And, well, I guess again, in your view, it is all great, and I get what you're saying.
Do you some of it's the tweet like, he put out for the Women's March?
What?
The first Women's March where they all marched against him in their little pussy hats, like a bunch of fucking morons.
Right.
His tweet to that was like, "It's so good to see all these women getting out and marching for what they believe in. You go, girl," or something like that. Literally, it wasn't exactly that, but I'm paraphrasing. But
yeah, it was something patronizing and fucking smartass, snarky as all hell.
Yeah, it was some grade A sarcastic bullshit.
Yeah, dude, some of it's great, but again, like you said, if you're looking at it from pure entertainment, it's all good.
Well, and how can you blame him though? I mean, those fucking whack jobs made statues of him with tiny dicks and shit, and put them up. I mean, like,
oh man, they're just asking to get trolled, dude.
Well, not only that, but like, how could you vote for somebody whose political base is making statues with tiny penises of their opponent?
Yeah,
I couldn't. For nothing else, I couldn't vote for Clinton just for that, man. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, like I don't want to be associated with these fucking kindergartners masquerading as adults.
Yeah, the one thing I'd love to see is some education reform. We need to get these social justice warriors out of the education system altogether.
Yeah,
that's what's going to cut their power base.
Yeah, they've they're not really big in numbers, but they're strategic. The positions they've taken strategically are pretty genius, really. Like, they take over the education system, they take over fucking HR departments and PR departments. It's really smart. It's really fucking considering all the other dumbass shit they do, I'm surprised that they fucking locked in on, hey, we need to take over the colleges, and then that way we can take over the fucking other schools, because we're going to churn out the people that are going to be teaching, in these lower education levels. Yeah, it's frustrating, but it's really impressive in a way that they've been able to do what they've done.
Yeah, and that's what really needs. Like, I love what Trump has been doing for the most part. I don't agree with some of it. I'm obviously the net neutrality was a terrible thing.
Right.
I'm not sure if his tax cuts are really going to do anything long term, because the trickle down theory is bullshit. We've known that. Like, long term, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. No, it's just a bullshit justification for giving fucking huge corporations more fucking money.
Which is what we don't want to do. We want to encourage small businesses. But we've gone over that before. But I'm just curious because he also cut taxes for the middle and lower class or middle and lower income too. So I don't know if that's going to be what makes the real difference is that everybody's keeping more of their money.
Right.
If that actually will pan out to help improve the economy a little bit. Because really what you want to see is you want to see more class mobility. You want to see more people being able to go from lower to middle to upper class.
Right.
You know, you want to be able to see and you also want to be able to see people from upper class be able to go to lower class.
Yeah.
You want to see people end up being able to lose their fortunes because they're stupid and they fuck up things. You know, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only thing is, it's time is going to tell how that works out because that might be his tax for the first 2 years, or it might be for the first 4 years, and then he ends up getting another 4, and he's got a whole nother plan. There may be an entirely new set of tax rules coming through, or he may end up closing some of the loopholes so that they're not really losing as much money as they claim.
Well, that's what I had heard that he was trying to do with especially the business tax thing, was making it a flat tax, eliminating all the deductions. So where the tax was much lower, but you couldn't really circumvent it to where, like, if you're this huge company, you can have all these write-offs where you're only paying like 3 or 4%. Where it was at like 22% and everybody's paying that 22% instead of saying it's at 33%, but really only small businesses are paying that percent and fucking small to medium businesses.
Yeah, because if what he did is alleviated the stress on the small businesses as well, it's definitely going to make a big difference. And hopefully it will. That's what I'm really hoping. In all honesty, I really, really hope that's the case. Nope. Fucking, my point just left.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Megan Fox is banned from Walmart?
What happened?
Megan Fox has been banned from Walmart for like her whole life almost.
Yeah? Why is that?
Yeah, she used to hang out with some chick that had sticky fingers when she was a teenager. And there's some video of her and her friend stealing some shit from Walmart. They claim she didn't really, but it's on video, so I'm pretty sure they fucking caught her stealing. And she was a fucking teenager, so, I mean, come on. Teenagers do that shit. They're fucking dumb.
Yeah, I stole from Walmart all the time.
I don't think I ever shoplifted when I was a kid. I was too fucking straight and narrow. I was a real straight and narrow kid.
Yeah, no, I love that shit. It was a fucking rush. I would go in and steal like 2 or 3 fucking Nintendo games at a time, dude.
Oh, nice. Well, you don't steal Nintendo games. I don't feel bad because Nintendo's overpriced crap anyway.
Yeah, well, this was back in fucking like junior high days. Like the original Nintendo system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were still very overpriced back then, dude.
Yeah, it was still pretty
figure in for inflation and that. They were way more expensive than the shit is nowadays, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they went from like 40 or 50.
I think you and I were both around when Pong started.
Yeah, very, very young when Pong came out.
Or at least when it was released on TVs. I don't know if it was... Might have been in the 70s that it was released in arcades.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But yeah, definitely was there for Pac-Man. Very, very young, but still was there for Pac-Man. And,
when Atari first came out, that was the first game system we got. Was when Atari first came out.
See, I even had before that the old Odyssey or Odyssey 2 system, which actually had like a keyboard. Like, I want to say we had
Pong. I don't think we had anything with a keyboard though. Just like the one where it's like 2 little dials and you just do Pong back and forth on the TV, little black and white one.
Yeah, it was a twisty dial thing to move the controller. Yeah. No, the Odyssey was actually, or I think this was Odyssey 2. But yeah, it was like had regular cartridges and everything. It had like a cheap Pac-Man ripoff called Casey Munchkin, which again, it was essentially the same as Pac-Man, just a different, obviously different characters, but it was really pretty much the same as Pac-Man. A bunch of other really basic games because obviously the technology wasn't really there. But yeah, even before Atari, man. But yeah, definitely had a lot of Atari games too. Holy shit.
What was it? Do you remember the original Mario Brothers on Atari? I don't think it was called Mario Brothers. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it was the one where they were coming out of the pipes or whatever. The turtles and all that shit were coming out of the pipes. You had the POW block in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I used to love playing that game so fucking much.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, or Joust. Joust was kind of similar to that.
But no, it wasn't. It was called Mario Brothers. Yeah, it had little mice and crabs.
Yeah, the turtles, obviously. Yeah.
God damn, I gotta find a way to play that again. I'm sure I can fucking emulate it.
Yeah. There's an emulator for pretty much everything. Yeah, I want to get another fucking. I've not had my own computer in a long time, dude. But yeah, on my old computer, man, I had an emulator for the original Nintendo. It had every single game, like 700 whatever games. Every single game you could play on that fucking thing. Yeah, and then my favorite one was the arcade emulator, where basically any arcade game that was like at least 3 years old, they had the fucking emulator that you could play it on this emulator.
That would be cool. Amazing. I wouldn't mind going back and playing some of the real old games like this one right here.
Yeah,
I looked up the images.
That is definitely the Atari version. That is not the arcade version.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You got the little crab things.
Holy shit. I wonder how much that's worth. Like if you had like a wrapped up in the box copy of that.
Oh, dude. I don't know, but it'd be a lot.
Right. Yeah.
I had an Atari 2600 with all sorts of games in great condition that I sold to get like more Nintendo games. When I was a kid, I sold it at a yard sale for like $20.
Yeah. I think a lot of those were way overproduced too. So it's kind of hard to tell how much they'd actually be worth. But I know a lot of
at this point now, dude, I'm sure like the original Atari Brothers or Mario Brothers.
Yeah, like if you actually had the packaging, especially if it was still sealed. Like I can't. Well, did they seal those back then? Did they wrap them in plastic? I don't think they did. Maybe they did. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like normally they have the clear plastic over them, but I don't think they did that back in the Atari days.
If it's new, $75. Rated is 160. I'm thinking graded means it's in like absolute perfect condition.
Right.
New is if it's never been like it's not necessarily in the box, but it's still in like good shape. And then I'm not seeing how they're making that. Let's see. Let me check another site here. If you got Red Sea Crossing, that's worth $14,000.
Oh wow.
Good Lord. The system itself you can find for something around $35 to $150. It's saying for like like depending on the condition it's in. Let's see the Mario Brothers. Yeah, anywhere from $15 to $75 because I thought that 160 seemed kind of high.
Right. Well, I remember I looked this up a while back for the Legend of Zelda, the gold cartridge. You know, when it first came out, they had the gold cartridge. Yeah. If you had that still factory sealed, it's worth like $5,000.
What if it's open and played?
It goes way down. There's a lot of them.
I think we've got Legend of Zelda and Link.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably still worth like $30-$40 though. Like, you know what I mean? It's
but that's not enough to be worth selling it. I'd much rather keep it.
Yeah, because I definitely like pretty much every Zelda game for up through probably up until Twilight Princess. I had the, when it first came out, I got the Zelda games. So I always had the gold one, like Ocarina of Time, whatever, any of them. I would always, get that game right when it came out. Used to be the only reason I would ever have the Nintendo system. Like after a while, it was basically for
the only reason I'd ever get a Nintendo is only to play like the Zelda games, Link and Zelda games. Yeah.
Yeah, or Metroid. I like Metroid a lot too.
Some of the Mario Brothers stuff is fun. My brother and I started playing one of the new Mario on the what is it? The newest system. I forget what it's called.
The Wii U.
Yeah, where it's like you get the like the controller with the little screen in it and shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. The Switch. I'm sorry,
the Switch. Yeah, that's the one on the Switch, and it's pretty fun. But I don't know, man. I didn't really get into it. It just was a little too complicated without really being.
Yeah, and I don't really like the.
It wasn't straightforward enough. Like there were too many things that you couldn't tell in a strategy game for it to really be a good strategy game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like puzzles that are challenging, but not like puzzles where you almost have to luck into it, or knowing where to go is almost a stroke of luck. Like I hate
don't
that
like
shit.
That it was giving percentage chances, but they really weren't percentage chances.
Oh,
so something's a 50-50 chance, but it hits every single time because it'll be the most challenging for you. Then it's not really a 50% chance.
Yeah.
So there were certain things that would always work regardless of the percentage chance, and you had to like learn to memorize those, and it was pretty shitty. So it really wasn't representing an accurate percentage of your options.
Yeah,
that's you got a copy card. That's $300. Oh, Condor Attack, if you have that for the Atari, can be up to $3,000.
Yeah, if it's really rare, like the Atari ones, it almost has to be one that was like a cult classic type one where hardly anybody knew about it, and hardly any were produced.
Yeah, there's like Malagal and Quadrun, or like $1,000 and $2,000.
Only I found a Legend of Zelda one here, $41.99, factory sealed, $4,199.
Yeah, see, that shit is crazy. I'd never pay for that. I'd rather just, what do you call it? Emulate it on my computer. Like, still play it and enjoy it.
Well, no, if you want one to just play, you're not going to buy a factory sealed one. You're going to buy a fucking one that doesn't even have the box and shit.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not a collector. Like, I could never collect because I don't see the point in keeping in boxes.
Yeah, no, that's unless you have the ability to buy 2 copies, like that's different. But like, as a kid, I'm not gonna get the Legend of Zelda and not play the fucking thing, that's just not going to happen. Even if I knew how much it would be worth in 30 years, I couldn't fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Well, even as an adult, I couldn't convince myself to buy 2 copies of something and save the other. Honestly, I just wouldn't do it. I'd be like, why would I buy 2 and why would I buy 1 and then not use it? Fuck off.
Yeah, I've never done it, dude, come to think of it. But
kudos to the people that do, and hey, you do you. That's the way I look at it. But there's no way. I mean, comic books, because you can still read them and keep them in really good condition.
Yeah.
You just only read them like once or twice. You don't read them over and over and over.
Yeah, I still wish I would have fucking bought a copy of the Giant Size X-Men and fucking X-Men 94 back when I was reading the comics, because I see the ads of like the ones that I was, the comics I was reading when I was 13, 14 years old or whatever, they'd have ads in there for selling the shit. And basically like X-Men 94 and Giant Size X-Men #1 were selling for like $50 for like near mint, like for, really good fucking condition. Now those are worth a couple grand a piece. A couple grand for the giant size one for sure.
I had the first 3 or 4 of like Shazam at one point, but they were falling apart.
Yeah, it's tough for any of the real
ones. Shit. They just weren't. Like they might have been worth $20 now at the most.
Yeah, although actually I've got a copy of X-Men 94 now it's beat to shit, but it's whole. Like there's none of it's missing. It's just real wrinkled and shit. Even in that condition, it's worth a good $150-$200.
Oh yeah, well maybe the Shazams at this point would be worth like more than 20, but I don't know, man. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, it really depends. Like as long as there's not a whole lot missing from them, like chunks missing or pages missing and shit, it's still gonna be
I
worth
don't think
something.
there was anything missing, but there was like tears. The cover was coming off.
Right, like it's detached from the
Real
staples.
wrinkled and beat the shit up. Yeah, it was real bad.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I traded him to some kid for like other comics that I wanted more
Mm.
because they weren't that good.
Yeah.
They were kind of like lame and old.
Yeah, although some of the old shit, it's pretty crazy how much like the old Disney comics and shit were worth, like the old Donald Duck comics or
Oh well,
Mickey.
some of the more rare stuff, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, plus it's almost impossible to find them, and find them in any kind of decent condition is incredibly rare. Because yeah, like I think Action Comics #1 is the most valuable one still. The first Superman's first appearance. That one's sold
Let's
for
see here. So it's from 1973. It definitely would be like a grade. This isn't giving me a price. Okay, that's fucking. What's the point of that website?
Wow, listen to this. Action Comics #1, a pristine copy. Wow, I didn't think there would be a pristine copy of Action Comics #1. Been around since '38, but basically it sold for $3.2 million, dude.
The I'm seeing it for like $120 for like one #1 of Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam's not, it's not Superman or Batman or any of that kind of shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's I have no doubt in my mind that it's an extremely valuable like really good copy.
Right.
There are people that are trying to sell worse copies for more, but I don't think they're going to get it. I think mine would probably be somewhere in like the $10 to $20 range. If I kept it, I'd be happy to have it, not for the value, but just for like how cool it is to have a #1 of some comic. To me, I think that'd be kind of nifty to have that, but I'm not disappointed that I got rid of it.
Let me see. Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. I have a website that I go to, mycomicshop.com, which is someplace out of Dallas, I think. Let me see. Yeah, let's see. Shazam #1 here. Very fine, which is a 8.5 out of 10 on the ranking. It's selling for $83.
Yeah, mine would have been like maybe a 1 out of 10, if that.
Right. Let's see.
So I'm thinking $10-20 at most, if that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was worth less than that.
Yeah. See, number two for like a 2.5, which is pretty banged up. Is selling for $1.70.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised it's less than 10.
Yeah, it falls off very quickly after the #1s.
Oh, and Shazam is just never was as popular as any of the other ones. Like, a Superman #1, that'd be some shit right there.
Yeah. Well, that's the Action Comics #1 is the first appearance of Superman.
Yeah.
So that's why that one. Well, again, it came out in 1938 or whatever. So yeah, definitely, incredibly rare to find. It's probably the only pristine copy in existence is the one that I was talking about. And that's why it sells for that. But even one that's in shitty condition, if it's all in one piece, even if it's wrinkled to hell and that is good, it's still going to be worth a good $100,000 easy.
Yeah, if I had a time machine, I'd go back and buy comics, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Or baseball.
You could easily do some cash transactions for that shit.
Right.
You could probably sell a good 3 or 4 of all the really good ones before anybody'd come after you and look and see what's going on. And you could probably make a good $1 million, $2 million bucks.
Fuck yeah,
doing it right.
Yeah.
Selling like the first Action comics, selling the first Detective comics. Not Detective, but the first. Wasn't it Batman like the Detective or something like that?
Yeah, Detective Comics was where Batman made his first appearance.
Yeah. So the first appearance of Batman in Detective Comics, the first Spider-Man appearance, all that kind of stuff. Hulk and probably like some, because you could sell the #1s of a lot of different things, and it really wouldn't affect anything if you just bought a copy.
And
way back in time.
Detective Comics 27 was the first Batman appearance.
Or just fucking go buy a Coca-Cola stock and fucking hide it somewhere.
Right.
And then find it. But nobody can claim it because nobody bought it but you. So there'd be no claim on it.
Yeah. Let's see. What the hell? Oh, it's a sign. Okay. I was trying to find the actual Detective Comics 27. Yeah. Come on. Oh, I don't know why I thought I would find it just a random place, but yeah, that's another incredibly rare one. Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy how much even recent ones can rocket up there. For a while, they did this thing where they would make like limited edition variant covers of the same comic. You know, just a different cover.
God. Just to make people buy like fucking 4 or 5 copies so that the collectors would be happy.
Yeah, and the value would go way up, but the value would always come back down. You know what I mean? Yeah. It would artificially inflate it, and then people would realize like it's really the same comic. It's just a different cover. It would still be worth a little more than the regular copy or whatever. But yeah, it kind of got old pretty quickly.
Well, because people realized they were just making you buy more than one, man, of the same shit. They were just like finding a way to make you buy 2 of the same thing you only needed 1 of.
Yeah. I guess I did kind of do that.
Collector, you'd buy like 2 copies of each one. Because you'd want to have one to just collect, to hold, keep in mint condition in like special packaging.
Yeah.
And then the ones you'd want to read.
Yeah. I gotta check on the fucking. I have the first appearance of Carnage. Are you familiar with Carnage, the character?
Yeah. Carnage. He's one of the Spider-Man villain sort of things.
Yeah.
Similar to Venom, if I'm not mistaken, right? Not the same thing.
Essentially, it's an alien symbiote, just like Venom, except instead of being bonded to a dude that has at least a little bit of a conscience, it's a dude that's a complete fucking psychopath.
Yeah, so
which I think was really fucking genius, dude. I've got like 6 of those, dude. I've got, and let's see, I'm looking 8.5 condition. They're selling for $114. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, all of mine are anytime you want it, man.
$114. And again, I have like I said, at least 6 copies that are at least in that condition. All of them are 8.5 and above. And luckily, because when I bought them, I think it was worth like 10 or $15. I was buying these lots, and I bought a bunch of Spider-Man lots. So I ended up getting like 6 copies of that thing, dude. That's fucking awesome.
Hey man, the one good thing about collecting, I will admit, is having liquefiable assets.
Yeah,
like it may take you a couple of weeks or maybe a month or something to sell that shit, but you can potentially sell that shit and make money for something that if you really need it.
Yeah, it's tough without having like a huge. Well, I guess I never tried to sell it on any of the shit on eBay, and I really should. Because I've tried to sell it locally, like through Craigslist, but everybody on Craigslist wants like a ridiculous fucking deal. Like they want to pay like 10 cents on the dollar.
Craigslist is only if you're trying to get rid of stuff, not if you're actually trying to make money.
Yeah. So that was kind of my miscalculation, because that would offer the shit for like half.
You could put a minimum on eBay and people bid, and you don't have to deal with the fucking phone calls and the cocksuckers calling you up and being like, hey man, I'll give you $5 for your fucking like $20,000 car, man.
Yeah.
$5, take it or leave it, man. Because you're gonna get that fucking asshole every fucking time you put anything on Craigslist. I would never put anything on Craigslist, man.
Yeah. No, I definitely. Well, I did sell. I had like 3 copies of the first appearance of Gambit, and I sold 2 of them for like a total of $100, which was roughly half of what they were worth. But at the time, so I actually did at least do that. But yeah, that was that was the only one I actually fucking managed to sell.
Yeah. Well, it's like I had a 65 Mustang. I ended up selling it to my parents for a fair amount of money. But it's 65 Mustang. The body was completely cherry with brand new paint. It ran just fine. It ran 100% great. The heater still worked. All the original dials and switches were inside of it still. Original interior in okay condition, some rips and tears, but nothing too major.
Right.
And all it really needed was some front end work. But I'd already switched it over from 4-wheel drum to because it's the old ones were all on one system or one channel braking system. So like if you got a leak somewhere, all your brakes went out at once. And it was 4-wheel drum brakes, which were not particularly great at stopping cars.
Right.
So I reinstalled front wheel disc brakes that had. I needed to do some pretty major front end work on it, but and there was 2 channels, so it was, if you got a leak, you still had 2, one front and one back wheel working.
Right.
So the car was in pretty darn good condition. 65 Mustang is the second year it was out. First year is 64 and a half.
Right.
And I had people trying to fucking lowball me for like $500.
God damn, dude.
And I was just like, you guys are fucking out of your minds.
Yeah. Like, why would you waste my time? You're a fucking prick.
It's insulting. It is. It's like, look, I know this is worth a few grand. It's not worth like 20 grand, like the classic that everything is perfect on, but like it was worth at least 2 or 3 grand sitting as it was. Because really all you gotta do, because I had all the original parts, you could put the front wheel drums back on. And the original steering knuckles. It's not like it was that much work. I didn't throw those away because I'm not stupid.
Right. Yeah, you could part it out and get fucking, a ridiculous amount for it, dude.
As it sits, no dents and dings, perfect body, no rust, 65 fucking Mustang coupe. Because it was the 2-door. It had the smaller engine, but the engine was in perfect working condition. Transmission was rebuilt. So everything, like, as far as mechanically, it was not going to break down. You weren't going to have issues for a while.
Right.
And then $500, people fucking, it was just a waste of my time. It's so fucking insulting.
Yeah. No, that would fucking drive me nuts. I'm like, fuck you. Why are you even wasting my time? Like, do you think I don't know what a fucking 65 fucking Mustang is worth?
Actually, I'm curious. Let me look that up in the Kelly Blue Book. But at the time, like $2,000 was pretty reasonable, I thought.
Yeah. No, even just, again, parts alone, it's worth way more than that, I would imagine.
Well, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, dude, wow! I can't use Kelly Blue Book without turning off ad blocker. I guess I'm not clicking up.
Yeah, that's been my dream car for a long time. Anything from 64 and a half through 69, I've always wanted one of those old Mustangs, because I think 70 was the year they went into the more muscle car type, right? If I remember correctly. It's when they changed.
Oh, it only goes back to 92? Wow, okay. Oh, so Kelly Blue Book is a waste of fucking time if you want to find out your classic car.
Right. Let's see. Front light panel and front bumper cover. Yeah. Oh, it's our aftermarket shit. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Wow, just the convertible top is worth like $300. God damn. Aluminum radiator, $200. Oh, I think
this is supposed to be a classic pricing guide, but it goes up to 2010. I'm sorry, 2010 is not a fucking classic.
Right, that's funny, dude. Oh, man.
Let's see, in my area, oh, you're looking at like an 85 for like 16.5.
Yeah. I really
1965 in cherry condition is around 30 grand. This car is about, let's see, I'd say this is about how mine was in, for about 15.
Let's see.
Yeah, about 15 grand. Wow. It was a 1964 two-door coupe. Or 1965 two-door coupe. Oh, it had 94,000 miles on it. Okay, mine had more than 94,000 miles.
Wow, I guess. Dude, I'm
But
looking
it was
at
probably somewhere in the realm of like $5 or $6 I probably could have gotten if I knew how to sell it like on those markets.
I'm looking at let's see, this is a 69 Ford Mustang full body shell. So just the shell, 19 grand, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Here's one and 50, 65, 66, 20 grand, 20,500. Yeah, just the engine alone. If the engine's still in decent condition, holy shit, this 65.
Well, the engine and the transmission had both been rebuilt because they both belong.
Yeah, but they were still the original, right?
Yes, no, they were still the original parts. Yeah, and the carburetor was rebuilt. The reason the engine had blown in the first place is because the carburetor was missing parts, and I rebuilt the carburetor as well as I could, considering that I was missing like half the fucking parts. And then the mechanic was like, "You know what, dude, you did really good." He's all, "You were missing like half the fucking parts, so I don't know how the hell you managed to keep it running." But
damn, dude, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, well, I mean the cylinders were so fucking blown that there were literally in the engine block 1/4-inch deep channels between all the fucking cylinders.
Damn.
So the pistons would come up to compress, and all your compression would just shoot over to the fucking next cylinder. Because they don't all compress crazy at the same time. It's usually like 1 and 3, 2 and 4, or 1 and 4. Like weird combinations of it. Yeah, but I think it was it's a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think it was a 267 engine. I think it's a 6 back then.
Yeah, I think it was a 6-cylinder, like 267, because it wasn't the big block. The big block was like a 384 or something like that. Or 354 or something. But I knew what the car was worth when I was selling it. It was worth, like $4 or $5 and I was offering a deal because I just didn't want to wait. And my parents ended up buying it. And it ended up, believe it or not, ending up in Germany.
Oh wow!
Somebody from Germany bought it, and that's when they came, put it up on a flatbed truck, and they took. They asked if we had the original, like braking and stuff, and so I gave them all the original parts for the brakes. I didn't keep the drums, but the original drums you're not going to find on any car unless it was some magical barn car that you found in perfect condition that some old man never drove or something like that.
Stored underground somewhere in a fucking
but the original steering
vacuum sealed.
The original steering knuckles were there along with the spindles, so I mean it was easy to put new drum brakes on if that's what you wanted. And that thing hauled ass, man.
Yeah.
Somebody pulled up next to you one of them little fucking Hondas with the loud exhaust systems and revved their engine off the line. You leave them in the fucking dirt so easily. But
I'm sorry, 289
car, so you could you barely hang on to like your steering.
Right. Yeah, the 289 was a V8. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I said, but the really fun thing was because it was so old, there was no electronics. So like literally I could get in the engine compartment with the engine. I was also a lot skinnier at the time. But I mean, there was just so much fucking room to work on it. It was glorious. And it was like, oh, look, there's an engine, a fuel system, a heater, a braking system, and an exhaust system. All right, we're done.
Right.
There was no power steering, none of that shit. It was really nice.
Yeah.
And
I wonder how much the old Shelby Cobras go for. Those have got to be.
Oh god, those would probably be a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
If it's in really good condition, because like really, ultimately, like when I'm, it has to be in super cherry condition to be worth like 30, 40 grand for a Mustang.
Right.
But
yeah.
Mine was in okay condition. It was definitely not cherry. Like it could have used some interior work, which I eventually would have done. It just, Oh man, I just got ripped.
I wouldn't mind getting one of the fucking Callaway Corvettes, dude. That would be an interesting one to drive.
I've driven a Corvette. Corvettes are fucking leave a Mustang in the dirt, man. The new ones,
well, no, the Well, you're familiar with the Callaway ones, the ones with they would add like fucking twin turbos and shit to a fucking Corvette.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's insane. No, I haven't heard of that before.
757 horsepower, dude.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, yeah. So they would basically, yeah, it's Callaway, Callaway. Yeah, they would take the regular Corvettes and fucking add that shit to it, dude. A fucking twin turbo.
My aunt had just a regular Corvette for a while, and
yeah,
she let me go out and drive it once. And nice. I'm up driving around. There's like these curvy sections of road, and so I'm taking it real slow because ain't my fucking sports car. I'm not gonna fucking drive like a lunatic in it. And some minivan started tailgating me and acting like an asshole. And I'm going like 10 miles over the limit as it is.
Right.
So as soon as we got to a straightaway, I just like put my foot down, and he was just gone. And we were like,
yeah, like it's almost kind of scary, right? Like you're like, holy shit, this is like driving a fucking rocket.
Because you're sitting down like on the ground. It's weird. Like you're such a weird position for driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
You're so low and your legs are like straight out in front of you. It's like you don't feel how intense the speed is, but it feels like you should feel more.
No,
you know what I mean? Like you go so fast and suddenly like, oh, I'm doing 120. This should feel more intense.
Yeah, like you should feel the acceleration more than you do.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be so fucking like, oh, it feels like I'm just doing 20 down the road. This is really fucking dangerous.
Yeah, that's actually a lot worse, dude. I would rather feel a little fucking, have an idea of how fast I'm fucking going.
Yeah, well, with the Mustang, you felt it because it's an 8-cylinder engine. It's a 65. It's fucking roaring.
Right.
So and it just, and you're just dragging back the wheels trying to fucking spin you out. You got to fucking really hang on to it because there's no power steering.
Right. Yeesh.
Like I kind of miss it, but I kind of don't.
No, my mom
don't want to drive like that anymore. But when I was young, it was pretty fun to drive around like that.
Yeah, my mom had a fucking I think it was a 67 Mustang, and she had I forget what year the Corvette was, but she had a Corvette when she was way younger too.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad had one of those fucking 57 Chevys with the push button automatic,
right,
where you just push buttons to put it in like drive and shit. And then it had color changing fucking speedometer.
Wow.
So it would go from like green to yellow to like orange to red the faster you went.
That's fucking awesome.
Well, the 65 Mustang was, I think, the last year they had the sweep speedometer. So instead of like the dial, like all the ones afterwards, I think 66 and beyond had like a dial.
No, right.
It just had a needle that went back and forth across your dash. So your speedometer was like a straight line across, and this needle just swept back and forth.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
I can't remember what fucking my grandparents had a fucking old Cadillac convertible, but I can't remember the fucking year. But it was like from the 50s or 60s, and apparently like people were trying to buy it from them like constantly, dude. Because they kept
once you get one of those, they always want to buy it off of you, especially if you're the original owner.
Yeah, they were, dude. They bought it new. And my grandfather was a mechanic, so he took really good, he owned a shop.
That's a 50-50 shop, man. Some mechanics, half the mechanics, you get a car from them, it's kept in really good condition. The other half, on the other hand, it's barely held together with shoestring and duct tape.
Yeah, no, my grandfather was like ex-military and fucking like he was really disciplined. Yeah,
okay. He's one of the ones that would actually keep good condition. Yeah. No.
I'm just saying, like, I've been a lot of mechanics.
I used to work in a shop, and some of the mechanic cars were barely held together.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, this thing was like in like cherry condition. Like it looked like it was brand new the entire time they had it. Because that was just the nature of how my grandfather was. He just fucking really took care of shit.
I'm like that's why everybody was cars.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah. No, I'm awful about almost everything. I take care of other people's shit. I never take care of my own, dude.
The stuff might not be clean, but I keep things like I had one of the fucking, was it the first generation Nano or the second generation iPod Nano, and it still worked up until like a few years ago. Like it still works now. I just don't use it. Just because I took such good care of it, because I was like, I don't want to have to buy another one.
Right.
It ain't because I'm like a good person. It's because I'm a cheap motherfucker.
You're like, I'm not fucking letting this go to shit. I'm not gonna buy another one of these fucking things.
Why do you think I fucking pulled all the RAM and the hard drive and shit out of my old computer? I'm like, I might have use for that. It still works just fine.
Yeah. That reminds me, I got to try to get more memory for the fucking PS4, for my son's PS4. Because they make it fucking impossible. Like, I think it comes with 250 gigs or something like that. And that basically means if you've had any games with all the updates, you can fit about 5 games on there, dude. With the saves and all the updates and shit.
Yeah, you probably want to get like a 4 or 5 terabyte drive in there.
Yeah, well, even just a 2 would probably do it. But yeah.
Oh, and it's probably got to be like a specialized drive. Like you can't just get any old drive, though, huh?
Yeah, I've seen it. There's like this kind of an add-on thing. Like you gotta like unscrew something and screw this in. But yeah, once you get that, you can actually put another card in there. And apparently, like Sony hasn't updated it where you can actually take a 4, or they may have by now. I didn't really look into. I wasn't looking at dates when I was looking this shit up, but apparently for a while, and it may still be. It's not able to recognize anything over 2 terabytes. Yeah,
it looks like you can either do an external drive that like you plug into a USB port, or it's like $120 for a 2 terabyte upgrade kit on Amazon.
Yeah, so it's got like a little hump that kind of goes over like the left side of the PS4. Is what I was looking at. Like that thing is like $15, and then you have to buy the card separately. Yeah, or I've seen it for 15.
Yeah, it looks like you literally just hook something up to the side of the PS4.
Yeah, I've looked into it. You have to like it's apparently pretty straightforward. Like you just unscrew one thing, and then it screws in there, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you can just plug in a hard drive.
Yeah, I assume you can plug it right into the USB, right? Or do they have another?
Yeah, you can just use any kind of hard drive, though. Like, that's kind of cool with the, if you buy, like, just an enclosure that goes in, plugs in.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Sony one, you mean? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think you have to buy, like, whatever the thing is that allows you to put in a regular hard drive, and then whatever kind of hard drive you want to buy on top of that.
Right, yeah.
And it looks like...
Yeah, because I think GameStop had one that was only like $15.
2.5 inch drive, so it's an SDD. It's got to be an SDD drive.
Right. Although you can get, I was looking at the thing that I was talking about, where you have to kind of like unscrew it and screw the other part in. That can take the 3.5, I believe.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you can get one that'll do the 3.5 if you want. But you could get like an 8 terabyte 2.5 or 3.5. You can get an 8 terabyte for $241. If you really wanted like a crazy fucking crazy insane memory.
Yeah.
What did I buy? I bought like a 4 terabyte, I think, for my computer, because my computer has these 2 little things that you just pop out the front.
Right.
See if I can find an image, because it's pretty fucking nifty the way it works. But it's super fucking easy to replace. It's just like slide it out. You don't even have to open the case, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Let's see here. Oh, I must have bought it last year. I hate when that happens. But it wasn't too much. It was actually pretty decent price-wise. Oh, for like $105, but that was a 3.5 inch, yeah. And it was Toshiba. And I paid $105. I think it's $130 right now. But that's not bad for 4 terabytes. That's super fucking cheap still.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm showing 64 gigs. What the fuck? Oh, that's just a fucking okay.
Yeah, if you upgrade to like RAM, that's different. Yeah, like I need to put 16 more gigs of RAM in. That's gonna be like a couple $100.
Yeah, well, this was just a flash drive, the one that I was looking at. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I was trying to look up memory card, hard drives. I think it was through GameStop. I'm trying to find the one I was talking about. Yeah, PlayStation 4 HDD data bank. So yeah, it's something that sits right on top of on the left side of the thing, and then it's like that's like $16. That's just the housing essentially, but then you can put in whatever memory card you want to use.
Oh yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so that way you don't have to actually swap out, the memory that's already in there. You don't have to. You can still keep that in there.
That's not too bad at all.
Yeah, because I've seen them other places for like $35-$40, and it's only like $16 at GameStop. Yeah, expand the PS4 internal memory capacity by adding the 3.5-inch drive of your choice. Again, hard drive not included, obviously. But yeah, larger, more economical drive, game saves, installations. Yeah, so it replaces the top cover of the PS4. I don't know why they put that in the description, but
yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. Because I remember with fucking Xbox, you had to buy like one of their drives.
Right.
You couldn't just buy like any old drive or like some sort of extension thing. You literally like, and this was the 360. So I don't know. Xbox might be different. But
yeah,
no, I bought one of their drives and it was like $200 to fucking get it. But if you wanted anything on there,
yeah,
you had to buy it. There wasn't enough memory normally.
Yeah, especially if you had like the Kinect version, only came with like 4 gigs. So yeah, they had a fucking a slot ready made to sell you a lot more memory, dude, for a lot more money.
Dude, I remember GameStop got fucked on that one because they had an asshole working behind the counter. Because I got it, I looked up online and their store said online it was open till 8. I get there at like 7:30. Dude's closing up.
Wow.
And he's like, "Hey, we're closing up. You need to get out now."
Damn,
I was
dude.
like, "All right, fuck that, dude." And I'd have spent, I was ready to drop like $200 for a fucking hard drive right there and then. It would have taken him 2 seconds to grab an Xbox drive and ring me out. I had cash.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh yeah, well, I specifically went online and bought it instead, even though it took longer. I was just like, I'm not buying anything from GameStop.
Yeah, see, I've never had any issues there. Really, they've usually taken really
I've been to other ones. They're fine. I've never gone back to that GameStop though.
Yeah.
Like that GameStop will never get my business again.
Yeah. No, I know how you feel, man. Once somebody fucks me like that, I'm like, all right, I'm done with you. You get no second chances, asshole.
Oh, I actually wrote a fucking letter to a fucking main office for Radio Shack once.
Right.
They closed and locked the doors like an hour and a half prior to closing time, and they were all just hanging out inside chatting with each other.
Wow. So they closed, but they were still wanting to stay on the clock, basically.
And then I knocked, and they just ignored me.
Wow.
And I'm like, you guys fucking are open for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I went in and said,
ridiculous, man.
Well, and then I went in and looked up the thing I wanted to buy on their website. So when I wrote the corporate, I'm like, look, this is what I was going to buy. This is how much money. And then I sent them a screenshot of the final purchase on Amazon.
Nice.
And I said, here's what's going on, man. These people are costing you money. Here's how much you already lost.
Yeah.
And I got a response on that one. They're like, we're really sorry. We're definitely going to look into this.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
That story ain't there anymore because I think Radio Shack went out of business. Gosh, I wonder why.
Right. Bunch of fucking cockheads working for you.
Oh, man. How fucking messed up is that shit?
Dude, I wouldn't have the balls to do
like
that,
4
man.
people in the store. There were 4 uniformed employees in the store. closed it, fucking locking the doors an hour and a half early and just chilling out and talking with each other.
And still being there. That's what blows my mind.
And the fucking balls on those dudes, man.
I wouldn't have. Although I did do a lot of that when I worked for not like that, but when I worked for Verizon, we had these kiosks inside Safeways, and just a tiny little fucking kiosk, right? And all of us that worked for that team, because it was a team, that would just work in the kiosks and not the stores. All of us would constantly take off for like 2 or 3 hour lunches because it was so busy, Yeah.
When I worked that graveyard shift at that assembly gig, when I was testing equipment, I would take, hour and a half, 2 hour lunch, watch a movie, go play bocce. But like I said, we were still putting out more than we were putting out almost twice the amount of product every night, even doing that shit as day shift.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't ripping anyone off.
Right.
We sort of were, but we really weren't. We were putting plenty of work in. We just worked really, really hard, and no one would distract us. And then we would take longer breaks and just fuck around a lot because we had plenty of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, ours, we weren't that busy anyway. It was pretty rare. Our quotas were really low, so we could still fuck around like that and still make a pretty decent fucking living.
Well, they could only manufacture so many units. We didn't have enough units to test anymore. It's not like we just stopped working and there was plenty left to do.
Mm-hmm.
You test and tune something like 100 units in a night, and then you temp check them and all that other shit, and you're done. There's none left to test. We just weren't letting them know that we were done so early, because then they'd
send you home,
send us home. Yeah. Right. So we go watch a movie in the conference room, chill out, fucking play bocce, take longer breaks, smoke a lot. A lot of smoke breaks.
Right.
Yeah. Of course, that was the place where they gave me the key, and the one dude showed up the next day with fucking cuts all over his face over it because he cut himself.
What the fuck?
Did I not tell you about that?
I don't think so, dude. If you did, I forgot about it.
Graveyard shift was weird in this company. We had a bunch of weird people, and it was for the first month or so, we had this Asian chick who eventually took off and joined the post office, which, in retrospect, I should have probably tried to do, because that was probably a much better fucking job. But it was just me and 3 other dudes all night long. And like I said, we would play bocce and shit. But one of the guys was a cutter, and he used to tell us all the stories about cutting and how he would cut himself and bleed himself to measured amounts, because he knew how much blood he could lose before it would be a danger.
Jesus.
And he would get into super graphic detail, and to a certain point where we're like, dude, I respect that you're sharing this stuff and it's deeply personal, and I appreciate that situation. You need to give us just a little bit of break, because it's starting to make me a little nauseous.
Right.
I'm going to need you to keep that to a certain amount every night before we don't talk about that anymore.
Right.
And he was actually cool with it. He actually really he was like, oh, okay, well, I appreciate you guys, being honest. And he would keep it down to a minimum. He would tell us about this stuff. He just wouldn't get into too graphic a detail.
He knew where the line was.
He'd been there for 2 years longer than I had. And so he had this big heart-on about he should have gotten the key and he should be the boss. And technically he was the manager. There was no real manager. It was just he was sort of the unofficial, if you have a question, ask him.
Right.
Since he's got seniority, he'll be the final say on whatever. We never had any questions or issues of any kind. It was never a big deal. But they gave me the key because literally I never missed a day. So for a year and a half, I had a perfect fucking attendance record with no absences. I had not called in sick once. And it was well, of course they gave me the key. I'm fucking there every single night. You, dude, are out every other week for at least a day. They're not going to give you the key. It had nothing to do with anything else. It was just, well, he never leaves, so we might as well give him the key.
Right. Go with the guy that shows up every day. Why not? Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, because at a certain point they started to cut down the amount of production, and we had to leave 2 hours before the morning shift arrived, before they could start.
Right.
So like we would take off at like 3 a.m. instead of 5 a.m. when the day manager would get there.
Yeah.
So because it was literally at 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. were the shifts, which was awesome when I was working day shift too, because I would get 5 a.m. to like 1:30 was like your 8-hour shift, and then I'd work till like 3:30, 4 o'clock and get a couple of hours of overtime every single day.
Yeah. So this guy, going back to that, this guy actually cut himself up because he didn't get a key?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. So when they gave me the key, because I'd been there every day, literally the next day he showed up with little cuts all over his face.
Wow.
He went home that night and cut because he was so angry about it.
Jesus, dude.
And he was honest about it. He was like, "I'm so mad." He's like, "And I'm not even mad at you because it's not you. You had nothing to do with it." I'm like, I'm glad because I can see the links to which you
right. Yeah, Jesus. That is still got to be a little unnerving. Even if he's saying he's like, "No, I don't have a problem with you." Like, you're like, okay, you're crazy, and that could change at any time.
Well, he had some weird issues with his sexuality and cutting and depression, and like he was super, super gay, but I don't know if he was really open about it or if his parents didn't accept it or something. It was one of my friends had gone to his house to hang out with the dude. I never did, because like there are limits to the amount I'll follow crazy.
Right.
Like I love hanging out with people I work, like sitting and talking with the people I work with now, like the clients, because they're kooky dudes, man. Like it's not that they're
entertaining
any more weird than most people, but they've done weird shit. So if they want to tell you like a story, you can bet it's going to be an interesting story. I can't share any of them, but they're cool.
Damn.
Yeah, confidentiality. I don't want to fucking
break
that trust, but like I get to hear all these cool, kooky, fucking whacked out stories. I also get to hear some really heartbreaking, fucked up stories. Like child molestation and shit like that.
Yeah, it's got to be rough.
There's a lot of people. I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of people out there that don't hate the person that molested them. They still love them and feel like it was good.
Wow,
that it was a good thing that happened. So I get a really interesting perspective from the amount of stuff I hear from different people. Don't get me wrong. Man. I don't think it's a good thing. I'm just saying there are people who
that's their perception of it.
Yeah,
seems like that would almost be like a kind of a defense/coping mechanism.
It's absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured. I thought you were going a different direction
because it's like a crazy fucking like you would never expect the amount of people who honestly feel like
it was
the whole thing was a good thing. Yeah, like that it was
like it wasn't completely
and positive relationship.
Like it wasn't completely a predator-prey relationship.
Yeah, there's so many people that genuinely have that delusion.
Yeah, I thought you were going a different direction with that. I had
we're almost going to start trying to.
Yeah, well, no. I thought you were going to say that they just didn't resent them anymore. Because I hear a lot of that shit, and there's a lot of people that end up in recovery that have been molested or sexually abused, raped, whatever. This one dude was talking about how, like, he had been clean for quite a while, and basically, the guy that molested him ended up sending him a friend request on Facebook. And this
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And the thing was, the dude that the guy in recovery that was telling the story was like kind of expressing like how far he had come spiritually. He was like, I wanted to fucking be angry at this guy. I wanted to fucking rage on this, and I just couldn't, because he had actually gotten to a place where he didn't hold on to his resentments anymore and that kind of shit. He was like, dude, I was really literally trying to force myself to fucking hate this guy and want to kill him, and I just couldn't do it. Like, I just don't have the fucking hate in my heart anymore. And he was like, I just fucking forgave him and denied the friend request, and that was it. Which I thought was pretty amazing, dude. Like,
it's you know what? That's fucking insane. Like, it's really tough to get to that point, and I got a lot of respect for that. I'll say for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was like amazed. Like, damn, I don't think I could ever just not fucking hate the dude forever, man. Although, again, letting that shit go is not for the fucking molester's benefit, and so you're not staying sick yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No. Because if you're harboring that resentment, that shit's keeping you sick.
You know? That's the thing that really I think a lot of people don't understand is it's not about literally forgiving the other person. It's about letting yourself forgiving in your own heart so that you don't have to hold on to the anger.
Yeah, no, I love my favorite saying is because there's a lot of really good recovery sayings, but like one of my favorite ones is holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because it's keeping you fucking sick. It's eating away at your fucking soul, continuing to stay angry at the people that have wronged you. So fucking process it, forgive them, again, not for their benefit, for your own, forgive them and fucking move on. Letting that shit fucking fester in your fucking soul is just going to keep you fucking sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's like, what is it? The thing that Tonkasaw thinks. For a minute, I forgot his name because he's been on Twitter for so long. But where he thinks I'm like watching his show every day and seething or something, super jealous or whatever. And it's like, nah, dude, I just see you tweet on Twitter once in a while, and it's fucking hilarious how crazy you are. I don't fucking. You're not taking the time. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, no, it's again because it's how he treats, how he handles situations is holding on to that shit.
Yeah,
like I said, he brought up the shit from several months ago, and he thought that you were still like fucking holding on to that, and you had completely forgotten about it.
Yeah, well, I didn't even remember what he was talking about now. Like I've already forgotten about it again.
Right. Yeah, but just the fact that he refused to believe that you didn't know what he was talking about and that you were still fucking like carrying that around.
Yeah, that's the kind of fucking like anger that poisons yourself, man. Like that kind of weird rage is only hurting yourself. You ain't hurting anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they harass people online a lot, but you can just fucking. Yeah. It's like when I got dogpiled on Twitter. It's just like, all right. I'll just say some nasty shit to people too, but I'm not really fucking gonna take on board anything you're saying.
Yeah. No, that's the other, another good expression is letting people live rent free inside your head.
I saw somebody make a quote about that on Twitter actually today.
Yeah,
and I thought it was funny because it was like 4 or 5 tweets in my feed above Tankasaw's triumphant return.
All right.
He's currently back on Twitter, and he announced it with just a tweet of "I win." And I'm not sure he fucking won.
Like, yeah, your band is up. That's pretty
whatever,
much it.
Man. I thought that was pretty funny. I pulled up a picture of a baby turtle with a raspberry put over its shell.
What the fuck?
Because it's super adorable, and I just saw it on Twitter, and I had to share it.
Oh my god, dude! I fucking I love hedgehogs, dude. I think they're the fucking most adorable thing ever. I think it was Peach Bailey. Like she had sent out a tweet, like kind of alluding to the fact that she was in a pretty dark place, and then said something along the lines of, so send me puppies, pics of puppies or whatever.
Oh, and you sent her hedgehogs?
Yeah, but it was a fucking it was a picture of a hedgehog that was kind of curled up, and it was sitting in a little mini like kayak canoe, and had a little mini fucking kayak paddle that it was holding.
Oh my
fucking
god,
adorable, dude. Yeah,
do you want to hear the worst story I've ever heard about hedgehogs?
What?
So there's this dude, he's like a video game Let's Player, but he lives in the UK and hedgehogs are super common there. And one night he was walking home from the pub, drunk as shit, out in the country. He goes up to a hedgerow and he slips. And he stepped on a hedgehog family and killed them.
Oh my God.
On them and fell over. It's a little funny, but it's like the worst thing ever because you like they're so fucking adorable. I feel like a terrible person.
How do I screen share, man? I don't know how to do that.
Are you on a phone or a computer?
On a computer.
On the left-hand side, when you bring your mouse over to the Hangout window, there's a little green button with like a little white arrow in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, I see it. So it's that simple?
You click on that, and then it should be your entire screen or the application window, whichever you want to share.
Right.
I always do your entire screen because it's just easier.
All right. Let me see.
Maybe I should look since and I'll select you so that when it goes up.
All right. Yeah, let me see if I'm going to try it here. My camera's still off, so I should be okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't have anything to do with your camera.
Wants to share contents to screen with Hangouts. Choose what you'd like to share. Should I do your entire screen? Or what's the difference between that and application window?
I just do the entire screen, and then it does the weird little thing until you click to whatever you want. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, wow, that is pretty fucking awesome.
Dude,
and then you can see like the big blue button thing on the bottom when you're done. So
okay, I gotcha. Okay, so I just wanted to at least pop that up for a second.
That is super fucking adorable.
Yeah. So yeah, okay.
I'm not much one for pets, but something like that, if it's really easy to keep it from dying, I might be into.
Yeah, I forgot how they said. I think they had said how long they live, but I cannot remember what it was. But just the way they can curl up into a little fucking ball like that, like their little legs go into a little pouch, and like, yeah, I don't know, man. Something about it's just adorable to me, dude. I saw a video the other day of basically a person had the hedgehog all curled up like that, and they set it into like a tub of hot water, and it's just floating there, dude. It's fucking awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, where they float on their back? I've seen that shit. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I really want a fucking hedgehog, dude. Like bad.
Are they like legal in your state, or?
Yeah, I have no idea. I've never looked into it. You know, I don't generally follow through on anything, so you know, I just have a strong desire to get one, but I have no desire to look into actually getting one. Yeah.
Oh man, they got another group of college kids is joined up with that. We're gonna cut our balls off if they build the wall thing.
Oh Jesus, dude!
That's gained traction with another group of students. By the way, I'm not even gonna share the article. It's a waste of time, but
yeah.
It just shows like a college campus.
It's probably for the best. Let them do it.
I know. I
just
told them
fucking breeding populations.
More people to sign up for something that fucking dumb. Like they were interviewing this one kid, and he's like, "Well, these other two guys are going to cut off their whole penis, and that's really impressive. But I'm just going to cut off my balls. Other people can have kids."
Right.
It's just fucking lunacy.
Oh, God, yeah, it's really amazing. Yeah, luckily, U2 has threatened to not release any albums while Trump is president. Oh,
dude, I hope he's president forever.
Right. Like, you haven't put out anything good since, like, 87 or 88, motherfuckers.
Yep,
Feel free. Yeah, or maybe that's just me, but...
It's like, gosh, do you promise? Do you really promise?
Do you mean it? Don't fucking back out on us. You fucking promise.
Yeah, it's like when you make a girl get so mad and she tells you, like, she's just not going to talk to you anymore, and you're like what?
Yeah, right. You know you're not going to follow through on that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Number one, you know it's not true, and number two, you're just like you got that last little dig. I don't know if you're like me, but I gotta get that last little dig. That ridiculous and like victory.
Yeah, no, my ex would pull that shit all the time, and I would fucking respond with, "Yeah, I wish." You know, you're not going to fucking do that. That would fucking.
It's like I should be so lucky.
Yeah, I'd send back shit like that, and she would think I was just being mean, but like literally, I wish you would leave me alone for a day or two. Like fucking when we were broken up and shit. Like I don't want to fucking. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She was fucking annoying, dude. Anytime I fucking took off, because again, it was never her leaving me. It was always me fucking getting tired of her bullshit. And then she would fucking harass me with these long ass texts or fucking calling me for no fucking reason. Or she'd have some bullshit fucking excuse for why she was calling, but it was essentially just to start. It's weird. It would kind of flip. Like at first, she would just be raging and talking shit, and then it would flip over to the fucking "oh my god, I want you back" kind of fucking shit.
Oh yeah. The typical kind of abusive kind of cycle. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like I said, it took me a long time to realize that I was in an abusive relationship, dude.
Oh yeah, it's especially harder for dudes because really, I don't think guys understand. Like, you can't be the victim in a relationship. Yeah, she's small and fucking not too threatening looking, but
emotionally.
I know dudes that I know dudes that got beat by their wife.
Oh yeah.
No,
she tried. If she could have, I'm just way too big, and she was just not big enough. If she could have kicked my ass, she would have kicked my ass.
The one of the guys, his wife was real small, but she would throw shit at him. So he fucking get winged in the fucking side of the head with a coffee cup or some shit.
No, I definitely got some of that, dude. But
the other guy was like the skinny guy dating the big fat chick. And she had a baby, and so she would beat on him, and he wouldn't. He just didn't think he couldn't make himself hit back or even really defend himself because
it's hard.
He didn't want to hurt her.
Like you're almost trained that that no matter what, you never fucking hit a woman, no matter what.
Yeah, I miss that dude. That dude was super fun to hang out with. That was one of the few people I kind of wish I hung out with after work.
Right.
But yeah, that guy was like a rockabilly dude. Like heavy into rockabilly to the point where he dressed retro all the time. Every day.
God
like
damn,
the full-on fucking like greaser haircut, the fucking leather jacket, the Hawaiian shirts and slacks. Oh man, he was fun.
That's pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you hang out with a kooky dude like that? Like, you're always going to be like, there's always going to be something crazy going on in somebody's like that's like social circle. You're always going to get to hear some crazy shit.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
But
you gotta love those interesting people that always manage to find themselves in interesting situations.
Yeah, it's like like my buddy wanted to burn a couch one time. It's like you don't end up in those situations unless you hang out with weird people, and it's not. It's definitely worth it.
Oh man,
because that's the guy that calls you at like 10 o'clock at night and says, "Dude, we need to burn a couch." You're like, I'll get my dad's pickup.
Yeah, no, I've done that.
Pick up the couch off the side of the road.
Watching a couch burn is pretty fun, dude.
Yeah, we took ours out to the beach, threw it off a cliff, poured some gas on it, and lit it up.
Yeah, no, I remember we went out. Some dudes that we had fucking issues with, and we knew they had this spot that was a few miles out of town.
Yours was a fucking mission for revenge. Nice.
Yeah. No, and they had this spot that was just a little ways off the road, on a road that wasn't used that much or didn't get a whole lot of traffic. And they would have like fucking, they'd just hang out, and they had a couch and other shit there. So we went out there and fucking just torched it, dude.
Nice.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, we just found one on the side of the road that somebody was giving away, and we were like, "It's real fucking ratty. Let's go burn it at the beach."
Right.
And then we pretended we just came to make sure it didn't start anything else because we didn't want to get like the fine.
Right.
But that kind of thing inevitably ended up with a bunch of people hanging out watching before we left, and I'm sure the park rangers eventually showed up and were angry.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Did you ever see the video of it was actually up here at ASU where they fucking tied up a couch to behind like a pickup truck and were towing it through the fucking streets?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it was like college kids, dude. They put like wheels or whatever on
riding the couch.
Yeah, there were dudes sitting on the couch behind a fucking truck, just towing it through along Mill Avenue, which Mill Avenue is like the main drag through ASU, through the campus and all that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. Like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Now, if I lived in Arizona at that time, I'd have been probably somebody who was either watching or riding in the truck. You know, like,
right.
I'd have known somebody involved. The way I am.
Yeah, I was like, damn. Yeah, because I remember watching it and I was like, damn it. Wow, I would love to do that shit. It's so much fucking fun. You know, not thinking like that could easily fucking spin out and go into the fucking oncoming traffic lane and fucking kill you.
I'd never be on the couch. That's way too dangerous. That's
no, I totally.
I'm willing to take some risks, but that one was too much for me.
Yeah. No, I would have totally been on the couch, dude. I wouldn't have fucking, I don't think shit like that through. I just fucking think like, hey, that's fucking awesome. I'm there with you.
You know what, though? I'm sure it's fun as fuck to be on the couch.
Just too dangerous, dude. It's just a horrible idea. Oh, man.
Now you're making me want to tow a couch down the street. Thinking, I'm trying to think, who do I know? Who do I still know that would be in for that?
Yeah.
I don't think I could talk anyone into having anything to do with that couch towed down the street.
Right. Oh, man. Although I guess I did a bunch of crazy shit. Dropping like 4 or 5 hits of acid and just driving around is a fucking pretty crazy idea that I did not realize at the time. See, my thing is,
it's not so much that it's risky; it's that I might hurt other people. Like if it's just my health at risk, that's one thing. But like I would feel really bad if I hurt somebody else because of the couch thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. See, I never thought about that. I didn't think of any consequences really.
Yeah.
I just thought, hey, I'm high on acid and I want to go somewhere else. Let's go. Like, that's as far as I thought shit through back then. Although I remember one time we were driving along this path. It's a picnic area not that far from where I'm living here. It's really secluded, and we would fucking hang out there because nobody was ever out there. Yeah. We were leaving, and the roads are essentially just trails. Like they're fucking barely a step up from like just a fucking random trail, really. About maybe a car and a half wide. And we were riding through trying to get out of there, and I was fucking high as shit. Frying fucking balls, and we were kind of lost. But I was still hauling ass through these fucking streets, dude. And none of us are saying a fucking word. It's kind of weird. We're listening to the music. It's cranked the fuck up. And at one point, I come around a turn and completely fucking spin out, like to where I'm facing the opposite direction. And then basically, but even then, dude, all I did was just put it in reverse, go back around, get back heading the right way. The whole time, none of us said a fucking word about what just happened. About the fact that I just spun out and almost fucking went completely off the fucking road. I don't know, man. I thought it was fucking weird. Like, none of them.
Well, if you're all high, it makes sense, though.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
If everybody, I'm guessing, like on acid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Everybody's kind of in their own world.
Yeah, no, and at the time, I didn't think anything of it. It was the next day. I'm like, dude.
I think if you were talking to some straight dude, he'd be like, "That's out of you. That's fucking insane."
Right.
They're like,
I kind of. Yeah, if it was some dude that wasn't high, they'd probably be like, "Hey, I know we're in the middle of nowhere here, but I'm gonna get out and walk. You guys, good luck to whatever you're fucking doing."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sober. Would make a much different decision.
Yeah.
I think if I was high as balls, I'd have been in.
Yeah. Like I said, didn't seem weird at the time, but the next morning I was like, holy shit.
Well, I had a friend of mine who had a 69 Dodge Charger who would do that kind of shit on purpose.
Oh, really? Like,
so I'd go riding with him. I just go riding with him on weekends and shit, and he'd just go fucking J-turns, spin the car out, all sorts of crazy shit.
Oh, dude. Back in the days when, cruising was a big deal, there was this spot along our main drag here where, like right behind the buildings, there was this big dirt lot. And I was just like 16, 17 years old. And what I would do is that we would go back into that dirt lot, and I would do fucking donuts for like 5 minutes. And it would kick up so much fucking dust. And then I would go back onto the road, and this huge fucking dust cloud would just cover the whole fucking drag, dude. It was fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, that's glorious. Yeah. My friend did something a little bit like that after Bible study one day. because he was super, super Christian. He's always trying to convince me to be Christian. So I was like, all right, I'll go to Bible study class with you. Why the fuck not? You know, I'm 19 years old. I might as well spend my night at a fucking Denny's with some priest trying to fucking convince me to join your cult.
Right.
And eat some fucking French fries and drink a soda, which is pretty much what I did.
Right.
And they actually enjoyed having me there because I would challenge him with a lot of shit, and he would come up with crazy fucking explanations that they would all buy.
Right.
But they were all super good natured. Like nobody was angry, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But cool. He peeled out all the way across this Denny's parking lot, and fucking the smoke must have been 3 stories high.
God damn, dude.
And because it was a 69 Dodge Charger GT that was fucking really, really well put together.
Right.
Big fucking engine. It had the biggest engine you could put in it. I remember that because he was super proud of it. It's just, this has been like fucking 20 years. So, not 20 years, like 18 years.
Yeah, see, mine was just dust. Like fucking, that's a lot of nasty fucking rubber smell.
Oh, the best part was we looked back before we left because the cops were starting to fight. We saw the cop cars off in the distance, and we're like, "Oh, let's get out of here." And so we definitely had some crazy driving, making sure we were out of there plenty of time before the cops showed up. You know, far enough out of the range that they wouldn't catch us up in a sweep.
Right.
As we left the parking lot, we looked back, and the fucking priest is dancing around in the parking lot, throwing the fucking rubber dust in the air. Like scooping rubber dust off the ground and fucking tossing it up because he thought it was awesome. That's who asked us to do it. It was a fucking
pretty cool, man.
Bible study class. He's like, I know you're super proud of this car. I'd love to see you burn some rubber.
Damn.
And he was like, and this dude was just like, oh, you want to see? I'd burn some rubber for you. All the way across the line. I mean, it must have been. Oh, a quarter of a football field at least.
Nice.
I mean, he burned rubber for like 20, 30 feet.
Jesus, you're gonna almost need new tires in a matter of fucking days.
Yeah, like when we finally pulled over, his tires were noticeably less tread on them, and like you could scoop rubber out of the fucking wheel wells.
Jesus. Yeah. Totally worth it though, I guess.
It was absolutely amazing. It was so good.
Yeah. Good shit.
They had pretty girls there. That was the one. That was the one downside to not wanting to join the religious cult. Is man, there were a lot of pretty girls in that cult.
Yeah, that is a good drawing, man. That priest knew what he was doing. You get the pretty girls in there, man. Dudes will agree
I don't know.
The other
shit. Dudes. I think the other dudes might have been there just for the religion too. It was real weird.
Wow.
I'm just sitting there like, well, I get some French fries and a soda, and I get to, have philosophical debates with this crazy preacher dude.
Right.
There's pretty girls. Every part of this is really working for me.
Right. There's no negatives to this situation.
Yeah. I only went.
I told him, hey, if I get to fuck one of these chicks, then I'll join your little cult. How's that?
Yeah, really. Well, it was only like, I think I only ever went for like 3 or 4 weeks, so like a month.
Right.
And it was only like once a week. It wasn't like I went for super long, but I also went to this dude's church, and they had faith healing. And let me tell you, you want to be in for an entertaining, kooky fucking night. You go to a church where people are talking in tongues, and the spirit is moving them, and there's faith healing and shit. Oh my God, you were in for a fucking treat.
Is that the one where they're actually palming their face and just shoving them, dude?
Yeah. Oh yeah. People are fucking falling down and switching and
just,
you
are healed, my brother.
Oh, this was glorious,
dude. Oh, yeah, no, I've seen that. I remember back in the 80s, you saw a lot, like 80s. Yeah, but it's been in the 80s. You saw a lot of that on like TV of the fucking preachers, the televangelists doing that shit. People would be on the ground just fucking all shaking in ecstasy and shit. I'm healed.
It was good. I think my friend thought that was going to be what converted me, and he was a little disappointed that it didn't work.
Like, dude, really entertaining, but I'm not buying it. Still not buying it.
Oh man, that was good.
Or the fuckers that handle snakes, like rattlesnakes and shit.
Oh,
that would be an interesting one to watch.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have been terrified at the time, but it'd make a great story now.
Yeah, yeah. Just sit way in the back. Maybe far enough back where you
comes near me with that snake, I'm out the fucking door,
dude. Yeah, no, you wouldn't have to handle him, dude. You let them handle him and get bit like fucking.
Dude, if he's anywhere where I think he might be able to throw the snake and have it bite me, that is too close for me, and I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, that's understood. Here you go. Have faith, brother. Have faith and fucking throw
that dude is unstable enough to think that it's a great plan to fucking trot out a bunch of fucking rattlesnakes.
Right.
God's gonna keep him from getting bit. He ain't stable. Yeah. How do I know this motherfucker ain't gonna be like, God wants me to throw the snake?
Yeah, you gotta have faith. Like throwing him as a test of your faith. Here you go. You have faith and you'll be fine. Like, no, that's
exactly. Or like, God spoke and I have to follow God's wishes because God runs my life, apparently.
Jesus, yeah, no, it'd be interesting to watch. Maybe from behind like glass or something, like a big glass wall.
The faith healing and stuff, I got to watch that from the back row because I'm like, hey, look, man, I'll go to your church. I ain't participating in shit. And I had to bite my fucking cheeks so hard because it was just like,
it's fucking hard not to bust into laughter. Yeah,
like the clients I work with, they're mentally ill. They have a reason for the delusions. These people just went out there and like for fucking that was their Sunday night.
Yeah, well, they could have been mentally ill too, just not too so mentally ill that they needed to be hospitalized too.
Yeah, that's true. It could be more mild issues that they're still functional. I don't know, man.
A little cults.
Happy,
although it's all
enjoyed it. I don't really, we weren't hurting anybody.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, I just feel bad for the people that thought they were getting healed.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm pretty sure.
Or unless it worked. I mean, again, the placebo effect or the fucking, the power of the fucking human mind to actually heal itself.
That is true.
Can be pretty spectacular sometimes. Yeah. So you never know.
That point, sir.
Indeed. Yeah.
That was fun.
Did you ever hear? I don't know. I never really verified this, but I had heard a story that there was this girl with multiple personalities, right? And basically, one of them was like allergic to like pantyhose. Like it was no problem unless that personality was out, and then all of a sudden the skin would break out from having pantyhose on.
I haven't heard that particular story.
Yeah,
but I believe it.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit! Like that's fucking amazing, dude. Like the power of suggestion or whatever.
Through anxiety and firm enough belief, you can definitely break out in hives because you can break out in hives just from anxiety. So.
Yeah,
it's entirely possible that you would break out in hives because you were convinced that those
just because you thought you were allergic, it would actually cause a physical reaction.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy. Yeah,
I think you can actually. If your anxiety is too bad all the time, you can actually eventually give yourself like heart issues.
Yeah, that's not surprising though. Like if you're constantly keyed up like that.
Which is really fucked up to tell people that have anxiety.
Like that's gonna make it better, dude.
Because that's not gonna make it better.
Yeah, it's gonna make it fucking worse. You're like, okay, like I wasn't anxious enough. Now you got to tell me that my anxiety is actually giving me heart problems.
Heart attack. I'm terrified is happening over and over.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of it. A lot of people think they're having a heart attack. Like that was the one I got. Because I had the like I can't breathe anxiety attacks. Then it moved on to the heart anxiety attacks, and
Luckily, I've never had issues with anxiety, or at least not. I mean, I've experienced anxiety, plenty. Well, not plenty. There's very little that I actually get worked up over. Extensive experience with depression, but not a whole lot of anxiety. Like I think the last thing was probably when I was dealing with going to court for my, to try to get custody of my son.
That's not
probably the only time recently that I've ever experienced any high levels of anxiety.
That's not what I'm talking about. Like,
no, it's like
because you have a reason to be anxious with the court stuff.
Right.
Whereas like the anxiety is just you sitting there fucking like playing a video game and then suddenly like you think you're gonna die.
Yeah, it's like a vague
similar probably to your depression.
Yeah, it's like an unfounded
but suddenly you're just fucking depressed as fuck and you're like, what is going on?
For no specific reason, like just this unfounded depression or anxiety is probably got to be worse than actually having a reason.
I've had people fucking pull knives on me and shit, and I didn't fucking freak out. So I mean, like I can handle stress. It's just
it's kind of weird to have this vague, undefined anxiety. Yeah, you have a vague, like undefined anxiety. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I can see.
Like my adrenaline just kicks on, and my fucking heartbeat goes, and then that makes you think you're having a heart attack because you're like, dude, why the fuck am I freaking out? Because your adrenaline just kicked in for no fucking reason, and you're like, what is going on? And then you start freaking out because you're like, like your body isn't under your control. It's a trip.
Dude, I got to send you I got to look up the video and send it to you. It's pretty solid advice as far as a psychological thing. It's Bob. I'm kidding about that part, by the way, but it's basically a sketch. It's a sketch on. It was on Mad TV, and it was Bob Newhart was on. Bob Newhart was like doing a little guest appearance, I think, just for that sketch. But basically, he's playing a psychiatrist, and basically, like the girl is talking about how like her fear is, being buried alive in a box or whatever her fucking anxiety is. And he's kind of going through it, like, for a little bit, kind of talking like, has anyone ever tried to bury you alive in a box? And she's like, no, but, the fear of it's just overwhelming or whatever. He's like, okay, I got these advice for you that should help you out. And then he's like, okay. And he's like, are you ready? And she's like, yeah. Oh, no, let me write it down. He's like, it's 2 words. Normally you don't have to write it down or whatever. But basically, as soon as he's ready to do it, all he does is yell at her, stop it! Fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah, like there's more to it, but, dude, it's so fucking funny, dude.
I can imagine several situations in which that's what I've wanted to do.
Right.
Dealing with clients. Stop it.
Yeah. Because it goes through this whole thing. She's like, oh, but my mother. He's like, oh, no, we don't go there. Just stop it. He's like, but my horoscope. And he's like, we definitely don't go there. Just stop it. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's fucked up. I like that.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite ones, dude. One of my favorite sketches.
That makes me think of this one kid who would always have all these issues going to sleep because he'd leave his lights on and sit up in bed.
Oh, jeez.
And eventually I just said, you know what? You can't come to me until you spent 20 minutes with your lights off laying down in bed and you still can't sleep. Mm-hmm. And then it's just fucking, he's keeping himself awake, man.
Right.
You can't sleep when you're sitting up in bed with the lights on and shit. That doesn't work. It was super funny. He was a super young kid. He'd just gotten out of like some sort of program. Like he was an orphan, so like he aged out of that whole system and had to go into the adult system. So it was a pretty big shock. Right. So I was pretty nice with the kid for a couple of weeks, but after a while, I'm like, all right, this game is over. This game where you come and wake me up at like 1 a.m. every fucking night because you're keeping yourself up super late and freaking out.
Yeah, that would get really fucking old really quick.
Yeah, eventually he got a roommate and that helped too, so he was fine. But I was just like, yeah, you got to lay down in bed with the lights off before you go to sleep, kid. That shit was so fucking funny.
Like, yeah, you don't realize you're literally just keeping yourself up.
I think it was part of his way of getting attention. The whole system, homes and all that stuff. The children's group homes and all that. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense, dude.
Oh, you know, and I'm sure, you know, the people that worked there probably encouraged it. You know, like they probably were more than happy to give him plenty of attention. One of the things at the psych field is there's too many fucking women.
Too many overly compassionate.
Too compassionate. Too fucking over the top soft, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta put a hard boundary or a hard line there and keep it. And boy, do they not do that ever.
Yeah, it's overly indulgent. It's being too well, again, too compassionate. Too much compassion can be a bad thing.
It's not even compassion. It's more like pity.
Yeah, like that's true.
The person, so they're willing to let them get away with shit they would never let anyone else get away with.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, I feel so bad for him. Well, stop.
Yeah, you're making it worse.
You dealt a completely fair deck of cards, buddy. Yeah, you gotta everybody's gotta work with the shit they gotta work with. And if these people have a little worse set of cards, then that sucks. And that's why we're here, is to help them figure out how to deal with that worst set of cards, not to fucking try to do it for them. You know what I mean? You can't do it for them. You got to let them fucking deal with it. You got to let them fucking, you know, crash and burn. And then you got to be there to be like, all right, well, that didn't work. So what else are you going to do, man? Because giving up ain't an option. You know, that's what you got to do. And I think
you got to have a little tough love perspective sometimes, man. Yeah, just letting them fucking get away with it and stew in their own fucking bullshit. You know, it's not going to fucking, you know, it's going to fuck them up.
You know, there's a lot of people who are just lazy and they just want to play video games all day. And there's no way that they're ever going to lose their disability, Social Security stuff. So they can do that. And they're, you know, nobody's ever going to kick them out. So
yeah, there's no incentive for them to fucking.
So there's no reason to change.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, I looked up that sketch, dude. I sent it to your DM or whatever.
I remember that, actually. I vaguely remember it, so it'll be nice to see it again.
Yeah, it's again. Yeah, you may not enjoy it as much as I do, but it's again, I fucking love that sketch, dude.
Well, I liked Mad TV. Mad TV was good stuff, man.
Yeah. I kind of I think I ended up watching it more than. Well, I think because it ended up starting a half an hour after Saturday Night Live, and most of the good Saturday Night Live shit happened in the first half hour anyway. So I would end up watching Saturday Night Live for a half hour and then kicking over to the Mad TV. The Stewart character was great. The fucking Miss Swan character was great. You know, the fucking Asian chick. Yeah. Some of the other shit. Yeah, what's it? Oh, the one, it was the Michael McDonald and that one, I can't remember what else she's in, a blonde chick. They would do the thing where they would just talk shit about everybody and everyone around them. They're like, this is literally worse than.
I remember that.
Yeah. It's fucking trying to think of some of the other shit. But yeah, there's some really fucking funny shit. Frank Caliendo is really fucking an amazing.
Well, that was still
impressionist.
That was still when they weren't really too PC.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they were going in that sort of golden window between PC issues.
You
know, so they were doing a lot of shit that really wouldn't fly now.
Yeah.
Which is why TV sucks so much, is because they're so fucking PC that it's fucking boring.
Yeah, you can't get shit approved to fucking go on anymore, man. Yeah.
This Twitter, this little kid, not kid, like 1920, but this kid's fucking Twitter page, like I think it was, I found it because I was looking for some voice actress or something. But this kid's fucking Twitter page bio was just a bi girl. Or no, just a little bi who likes dressing up as something. I'm like, who the fuck identifies as like that's what you are? Like you're not. That's not all you are.
Right.
It's just
weird. Dude, I gotta piss like really bad. Hey, I gotta piss really bad. I'll be right back, man.
Go.
Night.
All right. So we're gonna talk about Attorney District Judge Rudy Delgado was arrested February 2nd. I'm not sure yet what's going on. I don't think they've announced what the charges are. Delgado was the 93rd State District Court in Edinburgh, I assume, Virginia. And so it should be interesting to see what's going on. Kind of funny because I had to fucking go through and find an article that didn't be like Obama's judge arrested, because apparently he was a not delegated, but appointed by Obama. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, folks. It's not the biggest thing here. The judge was arrested. I don't really care who appointed him. What did he fucking do? Because I'm sure a bunch of the fucking judges that Obama appointed are doing just fine and are fair judges, you know? Like, he's currently running for a place on the 13th Court of Appeals. He was detained at a checkpoint on his way to a campaign event.
All right, sorry about that, man.
I was just talking about this dude. He has DWI charges again.
Mm.
So there's some judge that got arrested that looks like there might be some serious issues with DWIs, driving while intoxicated.
For a judge, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, he's had him before, and he's running for like another place. I was saying it was kind of funny because I had to fucking find an article that just talked about the arrest and not about President Obama's judge arrested, you know? Like,
trying to find something that was remotely independent or fucking.
Yeah, so it wasn't super fucking biased. It was like, come on, man. I don't care who appointed him. I don't. It looks like it's DWI stuff is not even. I mean, they're taking a lot of papers and stuff away, so maybe there is some other corruption issues, but I'm betting it's related to the DWI. Like maybe he tried to, do something to fucking get rid of the charges, or
try to somehow get it wiped from his record or something.
Yeah, make it harder for people to find it, kind of thing.
Yeesh.
You gotta watch them judges, man. That's a lot of power.
Yeah, so it's true, man, and especially nowadays, they seem to have no respect for, what their position is and what their power is supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, here's a fucked up one. This one I found was messed up. This is in the Netherlands, not the U.S. So, but an elderly woman resists being euthanized when she sees a needle, so her family held her down.
What the fuck?
So apparently in the Netherlands, you can get euthanasia.
Right.
And she was diagnosed with dementia. Her husband signed off on. Her husband requested euthanasia for her. They didn't, like, the judge just or the doctor just said, "Oh, sure, yeah, it's unbearable suffering and incurable." And even though there wasn't any other terminal illness, she just had dementia. That was it.
Right.
And her whole fucking family, like, fucking was there, I guess, when they were gonna fucking kill her. And he actually had them fucking hold her down.
Jeez.
And they fucking complied, man. Like, took 15 minutes before he finally found a vein and fucking shot her up with the lethal infusion.
Jeez. That's amazing, dude.
It's been referred to the Dutch Regulatory Commission, but there's no, like, it's not likely that there's ever going to be any consequences.
Yeah, it would really, I would imagine the family would have to be, like, upset about it, and obviously they assisted, so they couldn't really, like, complaining would almost put them in a position of fucking, being, like, liable or being negligent and going to jail themselves. You know what I mean? Like, no, you guys did it. How are you complaining about it now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and then,
is there something in the story that says, like, okay, before she lost her mind to the dementia, she said, "Hey, if I ever have dementia,"
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there isn't anything. There's nothing about that.
Wow.
Because that's what would be the dividing line for me, is if I'd said, "Hey, man, if I go fucking down the rabbit hole, fucking put a needle in me and make it
Right. Right.
Like, and I made a fucking will and testament, and I was legit like, this is what I want. It's not.
Right.
I fucking keep me alive as long as you can, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want out. I want in.
Right. Yeah, that is pretty amazing that they can actually order the death of a fucking wife just because she's demented or lost her fucking faculties or whatever.
Well, and then they got this 29-year-old chick who's scheduled to die, or it probably already did because it was scheduled for the 26th. Just because she's had depression that's been untreated, by the way. But she's had depression and self-harming behavior for her whole life. She received no therapy for the 2.5 years she was in prison prior to making this incredibly lucid decision. It's just fucking insane. To me, it's insane. You know, it's like I don't know, man. There needs to be a lot stricter controls on that. I'm glad we don't have it here because, dude, that is some creepy shit.
Right.
Oh, I mean, how many people would just get rid of fucking unpleasant to deal with relatives, you know?
Yeah. You got a fucking you got a rich uncle that's being an asshole, and you happen to be at that point in favor as far as the will. You're like, yeah, you're gonna convince somebody to fucking kill him, dude. Like, yeah, he's fucking crazy. He's lost his mind. Let's euthanize him. It's the humane thing to do.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's like if there's not cancer or something painful, that shouldn't even be an option.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I don't agree with that. I mean,
yeah, just for a mental state, especially when you're not the one requesting it.
Yeah, it's not the person themselves requesting.
Yeah, you're not the person allegedly suffering that's asking for it. Yeah, that is pretty fucking nuts.
Like, give her some fucking therapy and some fucking antidepressants.
Yeah, and make an effort.
Make her go through therapy for a year and decide. You know, I mean,
yeah. Although that's tough. I mean, it's her wanting to die. Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
she's a 29-year-old who really hasn't ever had any treatment for her depression.
Yeah. Although that is kind of tough because, if she just wants to check out and she doesn't want to even try.
I'm not saying she shouldn't be able to check out. I'm saying she should have to go through some therapy first and take some antidepressants.
You mean before she goes through an assisted?
Somebody to, just because how many people I've dealt with who've had like serious depression, and once they got on the right meds, were like, oh, this is great, like, or
that is
something I'm fine with dealing with. I'm happy, or I'm happy sometimes,
Yeah, that is a tough one because, like you said, if there's never been even attempted to have any kind of therapy or medication to counteract it, how do you know if they're really in their right mind? It doesn't really seem like it would qualify, I guess.
Putting them
if you're that far gone,
treatment center for a year is really not like some terrible fate.
Right.
You know what I mean? She has a deadline. If she still feels that way, she can do it. But I don't think expecting someone to undergo therapy where somebody tries to convince them, and help them get to a point where they don't want to die anymore over the course of a year is such a bad thing.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, you got to try something for an absolute minimum of fucking like 6 months or something. Like, we have to try to find something that's going to make you not want to die. If you still want to die after that, okay, we'll fucking go from there. But yeah, I can see that, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a year instead of the potential, 80 years or 50 years that she might make it.
Yeah, because there's a strong possibility that she could find something that, again, cures that, or not necessarily cures it, but again, makes fucking life bearable, makes her fucking occasionally happy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she could easily say, "Holy shit! I'm glad you guys didn't just let me fucking grant my wish and kill me immediately." You know, 'cause that's again a strong possibility with how many different meds there are available that she has to try.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You might not like Prozac doesn't work, but maybe one of the old tricyclerides does, and
something.
It's like holy shit, I feel way better.
Yeah. They should really have something set up. Like, okay, you got to try this, and this. Okay, if none of that works over whatever period you would normally have to use it to have it start working, okay, we'll go from there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
It's cyclic antidepressants, not tricyclerides.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was close.
Mm-hmm. Hey, a lot closer than I would have been, dude.
Yeah, tricyclic.
I have no idea.
It's the old versions of antidepressants as opposed to the norepinephrine, the ones that fucking change the hormones in your head.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like Prozac is a totally different MSRI, I think it is, or SSRI or something like that. Serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
Mm-hmm.
It's a totally different way of antidepressant medication, but a lot of times now people just go with the SSRIs, and they don't think of the tricyclic until later on if the SSRI stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, they try the more modern shit and then maybe try the old shit if that doesn't work.
So somebody who's seriously depressed, it's perfectly conceivable that they'd have been like, I tried one, it doesn't work. I don't have the energy to try the other ones. It's, because they're so hellish too. If you get the wrong one. I mean, they tried to give me like 2 different kinds of antidepressants 3 different kinds.
Right.
No, 4. Yeah, I think 4 in total.
Mm.
And not one of them was even remotely worth it. Like they all fucking were crazy bad for me.
Wow. Yeesh.
Well, I mean, I was delusional on one of them for like fucking 3 or 4 hours.
Yeesh.
Like being high in the worst way.
Right. Like being incredibly manic and just fucking unreasonable. Like
so that kind of thing. Like extreme mania. I didn't know who I was.
Oh, Jesus.
And just delusional mania. So it was like these thoughts all running through my head that seemed amazing at the time that just were completely incoherent nonsense that I don't remember. And I didn't even know I was me.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember was I took the pills. And so I knew it would end.
Right.
So that was the thing. So I just basically went fetal in my bed for like fucking 3 or 4 hours before I finally passed out because it let me go to sleep.
Yeah, that's a thing, man. If you realize that you're like, oh, okay, I took the pills and that's why this is happening and this is going to end at some point.
Yeah.
That's why I had an issue with like I would suggest people taking Chantix because it works really well for quitting smoking or whatever. Yeah. They'd be like, oh, no, people have killed themselves. And I'm like, look, man, you're aware of that fact. So if you're taking the Chantix and you suddenly want to kill yourself, just stop taking them. Like, remember the fact that, hey, I didn't want to kill myself at all before I started taking these. And now all of a sudden I do. So it's probably just the meds. I'll stop taking them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
Chantix was originally an antidepressant. So, yeah, that's one of the issues with all the antidepressants, really. What was the other one? Effexor. Because Prozac is the one that made me delusional for a night. And then Effexor is the one that raised my blood pressure and made me sweat like a gallon of fucking sweat.
God damn.
Like literally I had to change my shirt because it soaked through the first one.
Yeesh.
And then I just got in my car and drove out along the coast with the windows down for like a couple hours.
Jesus.
Because I knew it was going to get out of my system. So I'm like, yeah, just, my blood pressure is really high. So I'll just go do something super relaxing for me.
Right.
Out on the coast at like 1 a.m. Nobody's out there. So no traffic. It was great.
Yeah. No, that's extreme. Like it's one of the things that bugs me about the buprenorphine or Suboxone, either one really, is it fucking makes me feel hot all the fucking time and fucking sweaty all the fucking, no, not all the time, but a lot of the time, dude. I'll fucking sit there and be totally fine. Then all of a sudden, I'm fucking all overheated and fucking sweating like a motherfucker. It's really frustrating.
Yeah. And then one antidepressant didn't do anything. What did the other one do?
I think the only thing that I've ever tried as far as that was not an I'm bipolar, so taking the antidepressants is a little dangerous because you don't know what side you're on as far as the, whether you're manic or depressed.
Yeah, manic or depressed. It can get real bad.
Yeah, so basically, in rehab the second time, they convinced me to try to take lithium because it's a stabilizer.
Really, lithium carbonate's super, super common for bipolar, but doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, and I didn't take it very long because maybe a couple weeks, a few weeks or something like that. Because, well, for one thing, I didn't notice any difference at all. And then also, like, this is a little fucking weird, but like, I noticed like my cock wasn't getting as hard when I was masturbating. And that somehow was like too much of a threat to my manhood or something. Like, so I was like, fuck this shit. And it's not even like it was, I could still masturbate. I could still fucking masturbate. Like, it wasn't even like it wouldn't get hard at all. It just wouldn't be completely hard. And that bugged me for some reason. So I stopped taking it.
Still, man, I can understand. That would be like one of those things where be like, hey, man, I'm not sure this is worth it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like,
up now.
Yeah, no, I could easily masturbate and finish. And even if I was fucking somebody, like dating somebody or whatever, I could have, it's still hard enough to fuck. But even just the fact that it wasn't as hard as it normally would be just bugged the hell out of me.
Yeah, dude, that's not a little thing. That is a pretty
I probably would have dealt with it.
Most dudes.
Yeah, I probably would have dealt with it if it had changed my mood or,
Oh, yeah, no. If it had some sort of awesome effect, it might be worth it. Like if it was like, oh, I feel like a regular person. Like I had a similar thing with Xanax.
Right.
So what I would do is if I wanted to, fucking get off, I would just, not take it for like one dose.
Right.
But then again, I only needed to take it in extremely small doses, like 2 or 3 times a day to be fine. So
right.
I wasn't taking like major doses. And if I waited an hour or two so I could go jack off or some shit, it'd be fine.
Right. It wasn't a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. But I must be addicted, so I can't have it. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, this works. Well, we can't have that. You're a drug addict.
The weirdest fucking. It's got to be something to do with just California because it's the weirdest fucking thing. It was like,
yeah, it seems like they're especially paranoid in that state when it comes to any kind of pills and addiction or whatever.
Holy shit, man! If you want some weed, fucking, you got you some weed, man.
Right. But yeah, it's really bizarre that they're that restrictive on that.
Yeah, and for anybody who's listening who's like, oh, well, you just really want to pop Xanax, it's a standard prescription for anxiety and tinnitus. It's one of the most common prescriptions for that combination because it's so effective. Because at the end of the day, your anxiety that's brought on by tinnitus is not a depressive. It's not an imbalance in your brain chemicals.
Right. That's a serious
depressant.
Yeah, it's a serious fucking thing to deal with, man. I can't imagine.
I'm
that fucking ringing in your ears
right now,
constantly.
I can barely hear it. You know what I mean? Like it's so in the background, and I've learned to ignore it.
Right.
Like, yesterday, it was super fucking loud all day, so it was just really annoying.
Yeah.
So William Shatner had a video where he talked about it. That essentially tinnitus steals silence from you. So what you end up losing isn't like you just can't sit somewhere and be quiet.
Yeah, it would be hard to I don't want to say be calm, but that's kind of what I'm getting at. There's got to be a better way to express that. But like, to have any kind of serenity or fucking tranquility would be basically impossible, I would imagine.
I go to the beach and I can relax and calm down, but I still can really only do it on my quiet days, or it's too loud and it drowns. It's not like the beach noise won't cover it up.
Right.
And so I'd either have to like put on headphones at the fucking beach, which why would you want to wear headphones at the beach and not listen to the water?
Yeah, not listen to the waves crashing and shit. Yeah. Because that definitely is an incredibly relaxing thing.
Yeah, the only thing that works for me is a shower running for whatever reason. So I'm a very clean person, and I have like an 8-hour video on all my computers that fucking plays just a shower head running.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah, it's the way I sleep, man. I just leave my laptop up near the head of my bed, like on a fucking TV tray, and then I just turn the light all the way down so it's super dim, and then I just play the fucking shower head video, and I made it a video so that the screen is always changing. So it doesn't burn, I don't know if I don't think you can burn into screens anymore, but
yeah, the way the old ones did.
Yeah, the way the old ones used to be able to do, but still, why not,
Yeah, exactly.
And also, if it's a video, then the screensaver never comes on, and I don't have to fucking start it over or anything.
Yeah. Interesting. So yeah, I was gonna say, like, the ASMR wouldn't help because they're all whispering. Like, that works for me, but I don't have a fucking.
No, I mean, it might for some people though. Like some people,
it works for me.
Leaves being like crunchy leaves being swept or raked really works for some people.
Yeah, or like the running water.
Some people running water, so they'll just get like little fountains and put them around their house.
Right. Again, the waves.
I have a little fountain that I tried. I have a little desktop fountain that I tried, and it just made me have to pee a lot more often.
Right. Yeah.
And, I don't know. It was a trip. I'm good now, but I still think that I would probably get better sleep if I had the Xanax. I wouldn't necessarily need to take it as often as I did when I first started having the issues, because my anxiety isn't as bad now. But it would still be really nice because it makes it like 60% quieter.
Yeah.
Somewhere around about 60% less noise. Even on my loud days, it's still pretty decent.
Yeah, no, that'd be a huge fucking difference, I would imagine.
Yeah, and on my quiet days, it's like I don't even have it. It's fucking. It was amazing. It was like a miracle. Oh, there's Stench ever calling us the druggies. What's up, man?
Hey,
we're almost coming up on an end. I think it's about 2.5 hours in. So
yeah. Well, it's good we went long enough that we actually had somebody watching.
Yeah,
because we went this entire time with it being just me and you following the chat that was not chatting.
Yeah, 3 hours.
Yeah, we're essentially 3 hours in. We're close to it.
Oh, well, everybody's watching the Super Bowl. I don't know who won or if it was any good, but I saw a bunch of tweets on a bunch of tweets on
Twitter,
like some of the commercials were kind of political, and some people were upset about that. And I'm like, well, I don't know why you're surprised.
Right, it's been happening. Yeah, although it's funny because Matt Christensen at one point tweeted something out about like, hey, so far there's haven't really been any SJW type commercials. It's pretty refreshing. And then apparently from that point on, there was a bunch of them. So like he thought he was like, oh, I must have jinxed it, man. Yeah. Actually, I didn't. Dude, this is the first year that I have not watched the Super Bowl, but I actually have not watched an NFL game since Thanksgiving, dude. And that's
that would have been the whole kneeling thing.
Well, that plus my team disgusted me because they were actually. I'm a Lions fan. And the Lions are traditionally pretty fucking awful. But this year they started out playing really well and getting me kind of excited, like, holy shit, I might actually have a good team. And then they fucked up, and basically Thanksgiving was the game where I was just like, I'm fucking done. They let me down again. Because this is what's frustrating about being a Lions fan is they'll give you these little glimmers of hope and they'll play well. And then as soon as you get to the point you're like, oh shit, they might actually, bam, they fuck it up. And Thanksgiving was the last day because they always play at home on Thanksgiving. It was against the Vikings. If they won that game, it was a huge fucking game, and they ended up losing pretty badly. And I was just like, you know what? Again, a combination of being frustrated with my team constantly doing that to me, and the kneeling thing. I was just like, I'm done, dude. I'm not fucking watching. And the thing is, like, it was definitely my favorite sport for a long time. Like, even before this season, if you told me that I would go through from even just missing the playoffs and the Super Bowl or not watching that, I would have been like, you're fucking crazy. There's no way that's happening. But I didn't really miss it. Honestly, I did not fucking miss it.
It's actually got to be nice to have all that extra time.
Yeah. Like, I had actually forgot. It was like 6:30, I think, today. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's a fucking Super Bowls today.
Oh, I didn't realize. So I was at the grocery store, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody?
No, right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the Super Bowl. And I'm like, oh, that's why all the garlic sausage is gone. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah, the garlic sauce?
Garlic sausage.
Oh, garlic sausage. Okay.
Yeah, I made like hot dogs for dinner, and I always make like regular hot dogs and then some sausage for.
I would think the brats would be gone.
Bologna tubes.
Yeah, I would always cook brats. That's weird.
My dad really digs garlic sausage, so it works for that. And,
no, I'm surprised that there is that many other people that are eating the garlic sausage, I guess.
California, man.
Oh, it's a thing.
There's like apple sausage, garlic sausage, tomato, basil, goat cheese sausage, fucking.
God damn.
All these different kinds, man. Brats are really hard to find, actually.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I do like some bratwurst, but I kind of prefer the Polish.
Oh,
really good Polish sausage.
Yeah, I'm part Polak, so I like them too. I don't know if that has anything to actually do with it, but there's a place up here, or up in Tempe, called Ted's Hot Dogs that has really good shit. Like, they have an amazing Polish sausage. They have Italian sausage and other shit too. It's kind of weird. Like, that Ted's Hot Dog is the only one that is not in the upstate New York area. That's not in the Buffalo area.
It's like one random. That's one out in fucking Arizona.
Yeah, they're all in the Buffalo area. There's like 8 of them, and then one out here in Tempe, and that's it.
Yeah, that should happen sometimes. It's usually like a cousin or something.
Yeah, I think that's what was going on here. But yeah, it's a really fucking amazing. Like, the Post sausage, all I do is get it with ketchup, mustard, and a fucking shitload of sauerkraut, dude. It's just fantastic. And their burgers are great too, man. Like, I'll get like a double cheeseburger and shit too. It's fantastic, man. Because they actually get their meat shipped from somewhere back east, dude. And get it shipped out there.
Yeah.
All their hot dogs and everything.
Yeah, good meat makes a difference, man. I know that's what makes In-N-Out so good.
Yeah.
They don't expand very fast because they're always getting the right kind of meat.
Yeah. Nice.
So they have to get like fresh. They set it up so that they're literally getting fresh meat every day that's never frozen.
Nice.
So that's the limiter. And it's like, well, that's why they're such good fucking burgers.
Yeah, because we didn't have any here for a long time. Because there's one just south of Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
That we would always eat at. Every time we went to Magic Mountain, we would always stop at that In-N-Out burger on the way back through. And we didn't get any in Arizona until, well, it's probably been about 10 years now. But like, for the longest time, there was not a single one in the state.
Well, we didn't have any in in my area until like 10 years ago. I mean, it was like a big thing, and they came in, and now we got like 2 or 3.
Yeah, nice. Do you guys have any Culver's restaurants around here?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, that's really good shit. It's pretty expensive, man, but really good burgers, man. Really good. They have like the fried cheese curds, which are really good. Or obviously the regular fries and onion rings and shit are really good too. But they have.
You never see that in California, fried cheese curds.
Yeah, it's the only place I've ever seen it. Yeah,
but it's originally.
Huh?
Oh, is
No,
it that
we have one
restaurant?
here. No,
Yeah.
we have one here in my town now.
Ah.
But yeah, it's originally from Wisconsin, so you know they don't give a
Oh,
fuck
okay, that
about.
makes sense. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
but yeah, really good fucking burgers. Like the one I have, it's called a bacon cheddar butter burger. So they put like buttered on the fucking the bun and everything, and kind of fried like you do on the bun.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
just
you do like the
fantastic.
fucking muffin tops. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you can fry the top of a muffin in butter.
No, I've never done that.
Oh,
That's
you
crazy.
cut the part of the muffin off, or you cut it in half, or whatever, and then the part you just the crumb inside that's not all brown baking, you
Right.
fry that part in like butter
Huh. That's
until it
interesting.
gets all crispy and crunchy. It's super fucking good.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I always put butter on
Super
that
bad
part
for
anyway
you.
and melt it. I never fry it.
Super bad for you because it'll soak up almost all the butter you put in the pan if you're not careful.
Right,
But
right.
it's real good.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they
It
used to
sounds
do it a
good.
lot at like grills, like where you get the big open grill and you can throw down a pat of butter and all that good stuff.
Right, right. But yeah, no, Culver's is really good shit. They have a really good Reuben. They have like a tuna melt. Like they have a lot of different shit, like a pork tenderloin sandwich. A lot of variety in sandwiches for a fast
Yeah.
food place. It's not just burgers or that kind of shit.
Oh,
But
we have
yeah,
all that kind of stuff. They wouldn't really. There'd be too much competition in just like local places.
no, right, right.
California is big on food, so there's a lot of like little one-off restaurants.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
Right.
so here, well, this town, yeah, not a lot of competition from small restaurants. Flagstaff, when I lived up in Flagstaff, for the size of that town, man, it had some really fantastic restaurants.
Yeah.
Which it was a college town, but it was beyond that. Like, any of the had a lot of really good Chinese food places, really good pizza places. Still, one of my favorite pizza places is up there called New Jersey Pizza, and obviously New Jersey style pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, still probably my favorite pizza anywhere, man. Just really good shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's probably getting towards time to call it a night. It's 3 hours
Uh,
in, and we're getting to that slow down stage.
yeah, Stench I've already checked in and checked out, it would appear.
No, I
So
think you might
yeah.
still be there, but either way.
Right.
Sorry we have to run out on you, Stench Ever, man.
Yeah, we
Hope you have a
appreciate
good night.
somebody stopping by.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it is
All right,
Sunday,
fellas.
fucking Sunday night in the middle of the night. So
All right. All right.